Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent. Welcome to episode 292 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Today, I'm joined by, what do we think we're going to call it? The crown jewel, Lord Cognito, the medal, Lord Cognito. What are we calling this platinum trophy equivalent that we're going to get into today? But Cog, nonetheless, you're here with me. How are you doing, good sir?
Hanging in, man. I'm not too bad for a tooth extraction. Not too bad.
Yes, yeah. You went to war this week, dude. I couldn't even tell. I forgot when we were talking before. I'm sorry. How are you? Yeah,
I'm surprisingly okay. I mean, I haven't had anything done since like wisdom tooth, like a long time ago. And yeah, this is one, in the upper quadrant, number 2 for your dentist listeners in the realms of the Dukes. And they said, look, we can't save it. It's got to go. And I was like, all right. Can't save it. So I spoke to the dentist, and we had the appointment for the oral surgeon. And he's like, yeah, we'll keep you awake. You do laughing gas. I was like, no, we're not. You put me to sleep. I'm not awake for any of that. So
yeah, I do the same thing, bro.
Bro, yeah. So it is interesting. Very cool office, set me up nice. I didn't realize cozy. Now. Cozy, very like, I like when the office, everything's brand new. It's sparkly.
Yeah. You're like, oh, they really invested in here. Top of the line equipment, I'm going to be taken care of. Yep.
I love it. So I didn't even know now they give you like these little goggles now, almost like, like when engineers do the thing. Yeah. So it's like these goggles you got to put on. They give you a little bib.
Sure.
And they kind of like TD. I said, don't lay me out flat. Cog does not like being laid out flat. You got to keep me at an angle. You know what I'm saying? So he kept me at a nice little angle, kept me comfortable. The only thing is they put a small tire in your mouth. And you got to keep that, and you got to keep that open. And then, put you there. And then next thing you know, I was like, all right, I'm out. Now, I will say, this is the thing that never happened to me before. People have told me this has happened to them. This is the first time. This is the first time, because they said they got to do light sedation. I woke up towards the tail end of the procedure.
Oh.
So I was sitting there, I wake up, and I hear them getting it out. And I'm like, hey, yo. Now, obviously, I'm not in any pain because everything's numb and everything, whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, saw me up, and they were like, hey, you okay? Like, yeah, fine. Well, I've been told by people who the sedation wears off towards the end and stuff like that. But yeah, after that, just, they give you like a not cold compress, but like a compress to kind of chew on. So that it's like a wound. Obviously, you just did damage, did trauma there. You got your antibiotics, you got your little ibuprofen.
So you're on that Jell-O diet right now?
Yeah. Well, remember, now I made 24 hours, right? So now I can start to experiment with, softer, just ease your way into it, right? But yesterday
you're
was
a potato guy this week, yeah?
Yeah, today's like mashed potatoes and, little noodles. Maybe I might try to do that. But yesterday was like Jell-O, applesauce, no straw, no spitting, and you can brush around it lightly, but you got to do your salt water, stuff like that. Yeah. But surprisingly, yeah, I mean, I feel it. Obviously, you see trauma on the inside, but I thought, I was like, okay. I was like, because remember I told you, I was like, man, I haven't done this in a while. I want to prepare you because I didn't want to miss. I'm like, yo, we got good stuff to talk about, but I just wanted to give myself an out just in case I wasn't, 100% yet. So I'm like 80%, 85, feeling good.
Pretty good, dude. Can't even tell. So
thank you, sir.
Nice. I'm glad. That's good.
Yeah, so I see the glasses are coming back, rolling sex. I see what we're doing. I see we trying to get the viewership up today.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little something for this show. Yeah,
very sexy Maddie has returned, y'all.
Yeah. A little sex appeal for Defining Duke doesn't hurt, but also straining my eyes. Certainly, this helps with that. So, yeah, man, I'm just caving a little bit. It's just I've noticed it helps. It helps a lot. And so whatever it was, I know it's a joke now about the sex appeal, but I was always self-conscious about the size of them. They were really useful when I was working. But I'd always take them off for videos or podcasts, and especially podcasts is where I felt it the most. So just know everyone's compliments really helped me out a lot. Like it really did make me go, all right, I'm going to wear them. People don't think I look that whack. Like, all right, I'm going to go for it. And, podcasts with the glasses on. So appreciate everyone. complimenting the specs. Maybe I got to update I don't know. It looks fine with like this type of wardrobe, but it's clear it's really styled and profile when I put on little dress clothes. So
on top of that.
Yeah. So appreciate everyone's love. And if you want to love us a little bit more, patreon.com/laststandmedia. You can head over there. We get early ad-free access to the Dukes every single Thursday. We're here for you. Otherwise, we got a ton of other shows on the network. You can get access to Sacred Symbols Plus, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But also, just if you want to freeload, that's fine too. We're happy to have you. We're available on all platforms on Sundays. So we'll see you where we see you. Thanks for supporting the show. With that, Cog, we did have one Health is Wealth write-in this week. And since you already shared a little bit of your Health is Wealth journey, let's hear from Life Well Wasted. He writes, "Greetings, Dukes. I recently started my own Health is Wealth journey. For the most part, I was very inactive, getting off work, eating dinner, playing games, and on the weekends, sitting around and playing games. Over the last 2 weeks, I started running a mile each day. I have no real goals with this. I just want to start to be more active. So, with that being said, what music would be the best to run to? Personally, I found it harder to listen to traditional music with lyrics as I want to sing or hum along." Cog, I thought of you with this one. "I've actually been trying to use Nintendo's music app on my last few runs, and it's been a joy. Thanks for all you guys do." I distinctly remember you talking about when you were jogging and you were listening to rap and you wanted to like start spitting. So I thought you would be great for a starting point here for like cardio recommendations for music. For by the way, congrats to Life Well Wasted. Just getting a little Health is Wealth going. Doesn't have to be about the ultimate goal. Just getting started, right? What kind of music we recommended? This is always, we like to check in every few months and do a little music update anyway. So what are we listening to?
Gotta do gaming music. You have to. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm a hip hop guy to the core, but I cannot run no miles, spitting no bars, losing energy. Like I need inspirational theme background music. And generally, shout out to Brad, shout out to Somerset. We had a phenomenal episode where we were talking about video game music, ranking our soundtracks.
Yeah.
And, I want to shout out some of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Final Fantasy is one of them. I love the Let the Battles Begin. It reminds me while I'm... It reminds me throwing up the summon against my greatest challenge. Like the emotionality, the Sephiroth theme when he's sang for the first time. Like he's got his name in it. Sephiroth. It's crazy. Yeah. Shout out to obviously Tekken with getting me into like the upbeat, techno, kind of my EDM, my BPMs is higher there. You know what I'm saying? Tekken is always good for that to get me inspired. I want to shout out more recent. Let's shout out some Metaphor, my man. Hey, shout out some Metaphor, man. Like shout out to Atlas. I mean, Sega goes so much for me. Shout out to my man Lord Jimmy. He knows how I feel about Yuzo Koshiro. I think he's one of the GOATs. Don't hurt to put a little Streets of Rage in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you in the club. You know what I'm saying? You got that. I could go down this rabbit hole for so much. Shout out to Expedition 33, some of the greatest, more recent music as well. There's so much to choose from. But video game music versus King kills me. He's like, I don't know how you. He gets mad when I bump game music in the car. He'd be like, "What's wrong?"
Really?
He's like, "You doing too much."
Really?
Yeah, like I'll be in that pocket sometimes. Like game music is so important because you remember exactly what you were doing, the encounter, or just what it made you feel. And then even the like the animes you guys listen to, the soundtracks. I got my cartoons, my Transformers, so much. But I'm curious with you, what's some recommendations we got for Life Well Wasted?
I'm very like vibe driven, I've noticed. So like I've realized it's whatever pocket my brain wants to be in because that kind of gets me the most excited. And I know that sounds really obvious, but that does mean sometimes I listen to more like traditional music at times over game music because a lot of my video game music for my soundtrack is like very melancholic. Like at that, I've noticed that my playlist is very much like I like to listen to it while I'm thinking. So when I'm on walks, I listen to that, or when I'm writing, I listen to it. Like that's usually what I gravitate to for that kind of mood. And then I have a playlist for late 90s, early 2000s hip hop. That's usually if I'm just like, I want to feel like $1,000,000 right now. And so usually when I'm at the gym now, that's the go-to. Big L kind of fires me up right now. That's
shout out to Big L.
Yeah. Very classic pick, of course, but just
hell yeah.
Again, That's really been working for me. It's also been nice to rediscover because there's so much I didn't know. So it's very new to me. You know, I knew like the mainstream hits. My brother introduced me to all of them, but I never got into like people like Big L. Like that's very new. So
that's a deep cut for a lot of those people. Don't give L his flowers, man. Like,
really, I kind of prefer. Like I started with Nas because I thought of you. I was like, let me love him, right? But that was like, let me get into like his Illmatic, of course, is fire.
Let's get it. Talking that Illmatic, that New York State of Mind. That One Love. Okay,
it's an unbelievable album. And from there, I was like, okay, I want to like Spotify shuffle my way to some greatness.
You at? Okay, so they hit you with the Big L.
And they hit me with the Big L. And every time he comes on, I'm just like, fuck, dude. So
punchlines, hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a disciple of one of my OG goats, which is Lord Finesse. Really that, if you like that style, he's a little older, he's a disciple of that punchline flow. But Big L took it even further. I'm not going front. Like L was... Lifestyles of the Poor Dangerous, put it on, and that's Harlem in the building, man. It's funny. I want to shout you out real quick too, because shout out to my boy if he's listening. Oh man, from when I went to Ireland for the first time, L has a following. Like he's like, yo, I listen to Big L. I was like, get out of here! What you doing in Dublin, Ireland, listening to Big L? He was like, nah, fam. Like I listened to him. So yeah, shout out to my mans. He definitely. I didn't realize that he does have that effect on people. But that's good. That's good.
It's just very. Nas is like, his lyrics are just so powerful, I think. Tells a really good story, but like Big L just like, he just puts me in a mode. So like when I was throwing the baseball around a couple of days ago, I just had my headphones on. I was just listening to like his 98 freestyle. I'm just like,
98 freestyle? What?
Yeah.
Was a fan of the Nick. Yo, that freestyle is crazy. I'm kind of tired. He ain't tired. That boy was spitting bars.
Yeah. He was, I was like, to me, it was unbelievable to like listen. I don't know how you do that. So that kind of pulls me into a mode where I'm really like feeling myself. That early era of hip hop really gets me to that place, and that can get me working out good. I have a lot of indie music in my let's go my playlist, so that's more like a walk music. But I'm with you on the game music. Like definitely good boss fight music, like Trails did it for me for a while. I always recommend whatever transports you. Because whatever puts you into that, like, even though you're just staying there as one human in a room of other humans and you're really just insignificant in the scheme of things, whatever makes you feel like you are a fucking god among men. Like, I am the main character in this room. Whatever does that for you, you need to listen to that. It doesn't matter how corny it is, if it's game music, if it's rap, if it's whatever the hell it is, classical music, you feel sophisticated as hell, and that's how you get your lift on. Whatever it may be, I think just whatever elevates you, right? Brings your mood from like, okay, I'm here to work out to like, give me the weights, you know?
Yes.
You don't have to be like fired up, sprinting around. I see some dudes who go way too far in the gym. You know, they're doing too much, you know? But like, you know,
the yellers.
You know, like just,
like, bro, come on.
Like you're not, like I get it. Or they drop the weights and you see them do the shoulder roll in the mirror. And they're like,
you know what? I can't, I'm getting annoyed. I got to call my bro. I call them the Peacock Bros. Like, look, I get it. You just finish your set, but you know how dudes do the overextended walk with the, like, come on, bro. Like, it's like, I can tell, like, you feeling yourself, but just
like, you gotta carry it with grace, right? So that's all I'm trying to keep life well wasted away from that. You know, it's a very addicting feeling when you're like, I just fucking did that. Like, yeah, I'm tougher than anyone in this room. Let's go. But like, think of the Green Goblin mask, right? Like, don't listen to it. Don't listen to it.
I like that. Good Spidey reference. Just saw that, by the way, too. Oh my God, Brandon.
Okay, let's talk.
Bro.
Yeah, right?
I may have to reevaluate my all-time Spidey rankings after this movie.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is up top fiver for me. Like, all the Spider-Man movies. Have you seen like Spider-Verse and whatnot? Yeah. Like, I think this is a top fiver. This is really
I might have to go a step further, Maddie.
I
need a second watch because I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment.
Sure.
And I mean, I'm a fan of Toby, and obviously the one before this, which was Come Home, was the iconic moment, right? We got Garfield.
Yeah.
All I will say is I want to rewatch because I don't want to get too crazy. But Tom Holland's performance, this was the first time I'm like, no, you're Spider-Man now.
He's that dude. Yeah.
Like for me, not that the last one wasn't. This one and the issues they tackled, he had 2 tear-jerk moments for me. I was like, that's real right there.
Bro.
That, like,
I'll just say the moment in the crowd. Oh my God, bro. That got me so good. I was like, damn,
man. And then the moment when superhero movies sometimes don't touch the reality of the responsibility of what you have to give up. And there's a moment where his reality was crushed.
Yeah.
And that moment, that to me resonated outside of a superhero moment. And it deals with, I would say, because they talk about this, like loneliness is a thing. Like what you call, like there's some powerful moments where people isolate, you know what I'm saying? And they dealt with it in a dope way. And then I would think, like, the movie was phenomenal. I really have to rewatch it. You know, I'm back from, Virginia Beach. Oh, shout out to my man, Billy the Brewer pulled up. Shout out to,
you were on it, dude.
Yeah, I had a little weekend getaway.
Everything.
Yeah, I was on the move. But while I was out there, I was like, I gotta see this Brand New Day because, everyone's talking about it. We was able to get like a Monday morning showing.
You got a Monday morning movie showing?
Packed.
Packed? What? Actually, that makes sense. It's setting records every day now. So, yeah.
I was able to do it. So shout out to Virginia Beach and the crew. And it was a cinema cafe, some good food.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? It looked cool. But yeah, I saw it there and I was like, okay, I got to see this again. This hit different.
It reignited a lot of my love for Marvel. I was like, this is why I cared. That's when I found myself, dude, when I went to the Marvel. Okay, so on Saturday, I went on this like journey around because I'm like, we don't have a lot of good nerd stores where I live. And it's so painful because anytime I travel anywhere else, God, they have spots that I dream of. I'm just like, dude, if I had this like in 15, 30 minutes with like, I would just be there constantly. But I go on this journey just trying to see these comic shops because I was like, I want to like just start reading again like I used to. And I start looking into the Hickman run for the Avengers. Like, he basically is really well known for like merging storylines. And because the main thing I felt was like, oh, I want to know like what Marvel's working to now. Like I want to get in on the comic level and start reading like Doomsday into Secret War. Like what are we doing here? And so I followed this reading guide, but I went to these multiple comic shops to try. I couldn't find what I was looking for. And the one thing I did find, it was like 2 volumes worth. Would have been $150. I was like, yeah, this is where the digital future is a great option because Marvel offers a really, really great app called Marvel Unlimited.
Yes.
You go there, $10 a month.
Oh boy, Kai put me on that.
And just like, it's so good. And I will say this in defense of my digital antics here. What a slippery slope comics can be. We inherited Sonic comics and other Marvel comics from my brother-in-law. And dude, crates and crates and crates. It stacks. I barely have room for the games now. So I'm like, yeah. So I went digital, but like I knew this movie had an effect on me when I was like, I'm reading through like comics from like 84, 85, like the Secret Wars run for that. Just like it really got me. Okay. Like I started to recognize there. It was the movie that made me go, okay, I think they've actually been doing all right for a little bit now when they started to focus quantity or quality over quantity.
Yeah.
This movie definitely was that moment though, where
it goes to show you and then still how powerful he is as a hero, the fandom. Like it's like when he comes outside, all is right with MCU. And for sure. That's how, but not like you said, now I'm excited for where they go and with, Avengers and Doomsday and all that stuff.
And I just love the movie theater, man. I can't believe I had a huge stretch of time in my life where I wasn't going. Because like when I walked in there, I saw Brand New Day on like the night it came out.
Nice.
And because I was like, I pre-ordered my tickets. I was like, I have to be there for this one. Like I love like Spider-Man was always like appointment viewing for me. I knew something had to be wrong because I say that, but I missed No Way Home by like a month because my wife and I were trying to like align with when we could see it. And just like normally I would have been like, I'll see you on the second run, babe. Like,
look, wife.
I'm very loyal. I'm very loyal, so that resulted in spoilers. And yeah, it was tough. But when I was there at the theater, dude, like people were in costumes, like everyone had, I was wearing my Spider-Man shirt I got from E3 2018. Like it was a movement, man. Like everyone was
yeah.
talking. It's so excited. I was like, this is what it's about, bro. This
Yes.
is like this is so important. It's been such a good run. It's been like Toy Story was a lot of fun. I love Toy Story 5. Odyssey was great. Have you seen that yet?
I missed out. I had to make a business decision because while I was out there, it was like
one or the other.
Right. And I was like, well, if I don't get Spotty, then I'll see Odyssey. And then, so I had to miss it. But I want to see it too. That Nolan, I heard, absolutely cooked. I got to see that. Yeah. I'm hearing great things.
Yeah. It's really good. And so Project Hail Mary this year, fantastic. Obsession, I just saw over the weekend.
I got to see that, though. I saw that's one of those. You like, every dude that's kind of had that thought in their head, and the fact that they put that in movie theater, like, this is what it could be, though, if you go down that route.
100%. But also the message beneath it when you start to learn why.
Oh, see, you know that.
Yeah. There's more. There's a lot more to it, and it's I think it's very powerful on that level. But dude, I haven't been unsettled in a while like that, where I was kind of like sleeping one eye open. You know, like there's certain visual. The thing is, the movie never jump scared me, but there's just visuals like, oh my god, dude! Like it's very creepy, and there's certain ways they use certain shots and where they have certain characters where I'm like, oh, that could be in my room, right? It really pulled that out of me. I was like, dude, what am I, fucking 10? Like, damn, bro, it's got me tweaking a little bit. Like, that's crazy.
Look at that.
I'm over it now, but it took about a night and a half for me to it was like that first night I was working down here. My wife went to bed and I was like clacking away, and I stopped and it was quiet. I was like, I looked over into the hallway and it was dark in there. I was like, yo, imagine she was just standing there. And that's what I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, they got me, dude. Like, I'm cooked. So
yes.
Yeah, so it's been a great year for movies. A lot of people at the theaters, and I'm just glad that the theaters are thriving. It's really important. So
for sure.
Good to see. All right, we got a couple of warm-up questions here. You can submit these over at patreon.com/laststandmedia, just like JP did. He said, hey, Dukes, as we're a few weeks away from Gamescom, and as you both get your itinerary in order, are there any plans for some in-person defining Dukes from Germany? How about a visit to everyone's favorite Belgian, Lockmore? Cheers. And have a defining discs of physical games podcast kind of day. Thank you, JP, for writing in. So, Cog, we are working on this, yes? We just want to give everyone the update. We will try to do an in-person Duke. Not because Cog and I personally cannot, we'll see what appointments we have. It's more like, will the logistics line up? To be transparent, when we did the first in-person Duke, Xbox really hooked us up. Like, they gave us a room and gave us hours with it. Like, I think back to that moment in 2024. I'm like, they really just did us a huge solid.
That was solid,
So that was amazing of them. So we're seeing what we can do here, where we can kind of report to you all from the ground floor what we've played that week, how we're doing, how we're feeling, and just get the vibes up. Right, in person Duke, nothing like it.
That was classic, man. Yeah. It was really fun because I love the response that we got too from it. People love to see us in that set. Just two bros naturally hanging, talking games, doing what we do, and to see the chemistry is just the same in IRL as opposed to the camera is dope. So we're working on it. It will be a tremendous look. Stay tuned, man.
Yeah, stay tuned. Cooking. Last time we were doing in-person Dukes, we were making headlines. That's where Avowed had the whole first person. FPS doesn't matter. I'm just sitting there on the couch next to you like, yes. FPS does not matter in first person. You are correct, sir.
I was like, oh, you really gonna go there? Okay.
I said, continue, please.
Continue. Classic moment.
All right. Well, speaking of the Patreon here, I just want to give a shout out to Sacred Symbols Plus. I hopped on this past week. It was a episode I pitched to Colin when the news first broke, and I think the timing for this episode actually ended up being really good. I know a lot of people are tired of hearing about it, but there's just been so much information that continued to pour in, and literally the day that we did that episode is when PlayStation responded with everything to their shareholders, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. I just want to go through a couple of write-ins here. One was from Joshua Anderson. He says, fellas, hope you're both doing well. Cog, shout out to Mama Cog. Hope she's bright-eyed, smiling, and doing great. First off, Maddie, I got to say and admit I could be a major critic of yours. I always keep it respectful and topic-based, but I do be critical, and Cog gets it from me too, but it's all love. That said, Maddie, your concise, pointed, measured, and salient views and points on the physical gaming controversy has made me stand up and applaud and praise you. I've been lamenting Dustin's absence as he has been the physical voice of reason over on Sacred. And when he went out, when we needed him most, However, you have stepped in as the physical media champion we have needed but didn't deserve. Thank you, my brother. Keep up the good fight. He says he does have an unrelated question. He says, do you think Xbox could be considering laid off Bungie to spearhead 343? Which we will talk about, Joshua. So don't worry. We're going to get into all the Halo stuff. But I just want to thank you for your kind words alongside the Juan One. Says, hello, Dukes. I just wanted to praise Maddie on the newest episode of Sacred Symbols Plus with Colin. It was a very deep and interesting conversation, the physical game topic. And it felt like no matter what question/inquiry Colin threw at Maddie, he had an answer ready. You could tell the topic is important to him. I'd love more Colin and Maddie episodes, maybe topics like Mega Man versus Mega Man X, or dare I say, a topic on Final Fantasy 16, as both you and Colin are completely on different sides of that game. Have a good one, Dukes. And yeah, that's one I'll have to replay if Colin and I were to do that. But yeah, always love getting together with Colin. Doesn't happen often enough. But I just want to thank everyone for the love. A lot of people, I think, misinterpreted the goal of the episode, because I saw some comments that were like, yo, Colin got owned, or like, yo, Maddie got destroyed. Wasn't even much of a debate. I'm like, guys, it wasn't a debate. It was a discussion. Like,
correct.
It wasn't even like Colin proposed to me, like, I'm on this end, you're on this end. I think people's perception of Colin is he's on one end and I'm on the other. But I think he's more indifferent to it, sure. But like, it's a really good conversation. And I can't wait for it to go out to the public. But for those who are patrons, it is there waiting for you to be able to listen to. And I thought it was a really good conversation. It's about 2 hours of just us tackling from every angle. And I think Colin did a really great job trying to propose questions and angles that were fresh for those who have heard this topic over and over, right? Deeper challenges like, okay, we know the situation here. What is enough for you then? And kind of getting into the weeds on that. So very deep conversation on physical games, digital games, what the real problems are. And so, if you guys want to give it a listen, please do. Appreciate Joshua, Juan, and everyone else who wrote in with kind words. Thank you. My pleasure to hop in and talk some physical games. And let's hope there's some movement there, because one thing Colin's doing, he just announced on his Twitter, is that he's potentially talking with like a congressman about about the digital future for gaming. And so it'll be interesting to see where that can lead. So very excited about that. But I just wanted to thank everyone for their kind words and let you all know that there is an episode of Secret Symbols Plus with your boy waiting for you on Patreon.
Yeah, I got to catch that my damn self. I was like, yeah, man, I missed that. Like, I got to see, because again, shout out to Colin. Again, this is one of the reasons why I love being at Last Stand Media, because of the fact of diversity of thought. Not everything has to be about a debate. Sometimes it's just about bringing out, why people's viewpoints, hearing perspectives, you know what I'm saying? And one thing Colin does a masterful job is, like you said, pulling on different threads that may not have been discussed and getting these different viewpoints to talk about these threads, right? So super dope. I got to tune in on that one, because I heard that one was coming. And that's super dope, man. I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to Joshua, you know what I'm saying? I know, he goes hard on us sometimes, but, I love the respect and how he's, like I said, I told you I was proud of you, because you've done it in a very cool way in, obviously Dustin's absence, shout out to the little one that has just been born and everything. But, we know you as a person that is very passionate about, but I feel you've been very respectful for the perspective, but you also want to get your point across as to why it's important. And I love what we said last week about Duke, about the era of, not being afraid to stand up sometimes, because some people are so afraid of the L or whatever this thing is, to talk about these things that need to be talked about. So I'm excited to listen to that.
I'm glad. I appreciate that. Yeah. So again, if anyone wants more retro gaming goodness, go give that a listen. Certainly we'll be talking a lot about back compat stuff this week. So stay tuned. Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify is where you go to start your business, with everything you need already there from day one. And starting a business is a massive undertaking, so Shopify's tools are here to help so that you can focus on growing. This stems into things like setup and checkout. The very tools that your new business will use are the same that some of the biggest names in the game, like Mattel and Gymshark, are already using. Now, why is that? Well, it's because they're using everything from Shopify Checkout, which lets returning customers buy what they want in a single click, all the way to using Shopify's templates that get you a stunning website up and running with no coding required. So what are you waiting for? Shopify is providing the tools to get millions of businesses up and running, and now it's your turn. All you need is the idea, and Shopify, they'll handle the rest. So start your trial at shopify.com/Duke. That's shopify.com/Duke. Thank you to Shopify for sponsoring this week's episode. All right. Last thing here comes from Red Wing Cody. He writes, Maddie, I heard you bring up affordable handheld gaming in your physical games conversation with Colin. Have you seen or used the Evercade consoles and games before? Is this the kind of thing you'd want to see? Most of their games so far are releasing re-releasing compilations of old games on their cartridges. But they have a few new releases of mostly independent games. The games there are $20 to $30. They have handheld, console, and countercade versions of their console that all play the same cartridge. It might be worth checking out. It takes more than fancy armor and a good PR campaign to impress me kind of day. Thank you, Red Wing Cody, for pointing this out. Actually, I did look into this because I think it was like Banjo was doing something with Evercade, and this looks awesome. So I'm going to look into it a little bit more here and see what's going on, because what I'm most interested in are the independent games and sort of unpacking that further, because I think some companies could build businesses around a smaller model. I don't think it would work for AAA, but it's an interesting thought experiment, and to know there's something actually out there. I mean, everything's out there. I should have assumed so. It's a very appealing business model to me. So I want to look into this and learn some more here. So thank you for bringing this to my attention. I have heard of Evercade, but I've never looked deeply into it because I thought they were just doing re-releases. But I'm curious what their independent game scene kind of looks like here. So thanks for pointing this out, dude. I'll give it a look and see what we can come back with.
Absolutely.
All right. Time for maybe the biggest news of the show, Cog. Shall we?
Let's get it.
Asha Sharma with the confirmation of the generation. She has confirmed when asked by a user on Twitter, when are you going to solve the Platinum Trophy equivalent with achievements? She says, the team is working on something for later this year. And so we have the write-in here from Astro Parrot King and Caleb Greer. Astro says, Dukes, last minute write-in here. Did you all see the fact that Asha basically confirmed that there will be a Platinum-like equivalent on Xbox that may roll out later this year? Given this and the fact that reports are coming out stating that Microsoft is expected to support physical games on Project Helix, do you think that this will bring physical customers from PlayStation? I assume not, but it's a step in the right direction in any case. TGS dates have been announced, and now Maddie has to go to Japan type of day. Thank you, Astro. Meanwhile, Caleb Greer writes in saying, greetings, Dukes. Just saw the insider updates and Asha's hint at a Platinum equivalent for Xbox that's in the work for later this year. It's got me thinking about the conversation regarding PlayStation versus Xbox ecosystems. While both platforms have their issues, I see Xbox regularly dismissed in recent years regarding the seriousness and future viability of the ecosystem. It's as if many people can't even imagine someone playing on an Xbox, despite there being something like 35 million series units in the wild. PlayStation certainly has more exclusive titles and a higher-end machine option, but with all of Asha's feature and back-compat improvements over the last 8 months, combined with Sony's dismissal of its fans, where do you feel features and services fit into the conversation about where people play and why, and how important is it? I, for one, feel Xbox has always lapped PlayStation regarding the act of using the system itself and the features you receive as a player across devices, but I also never really see PlayStation users care that they live in the slums. They just say the food is good. So Caleb's getting a little messy here, but we understand the intent of the message here. It's like, how much do these updates for Xbox really matter in the scheme of things? Which Astro is asking a similar question here. Does this lead to any turnover? Well, before we really even address that, I mean, let's just celebrate for a moment, right? Like, I feel I should get some champagne.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we have Defining Duke Ultimate episodes on literally this topic, like what they could do, how it would look, what's our idea. That's where we came up with the crown jewel. Like, this is years ago, man. And like, this has really been a thing for the deeper Xbox community since like the late 360 days.
Hell yeah.
When like Platinums were already a thing, we're like, oh, we'd like that. And they just, for 2.5 generations, just like, no, like, we're not going to do it. Just, yeah, dude, it's a terrible look. And it's like, oh, okay, they're listening. And I will say this, there it is. There's the crown jewel itself. I will just say that with how fast these things are arriving, these seemingly obvious decisions, you just have to wonder why they were sitting on them in the first place. It seemed to be a resource issue, of course, but just the decision being made to ignore this for so long. I mean, to me, to get into the answering of the questions, why they're doing this, I don't know if it'll turn over a lot of people. I have friends who did text me when this news broke, and they're like, between back compat and achievements, like, that's getting me to look at Xbox right now. I told them, I said, well, start saving. I was like, if you're actually serious, you should start saving then.
Oh, yeah. See the prices.
Yeah, 100%. But what this is about is what I said from the start of this year when Asha came in. I think it's about user retention. I think this is about making sure that this core does not go over there, because while it's kind of like a DEFCON 5, right? Like we're in a place where it's like every move matters heavily. You cannot afford to lose people to your competition right now. you need to make sure at the very least, before you start bringing new users in, you keep that, 35 million we saw here, you keep them here. And these are moves to assure that they matter, right? You can't make every decision around them. Certainly, Phil and his group showed us that. But it's clear with like return to exclusivity in some form, the way they approach Game Pass pricing a little bit, things like retro achievements, platinum equivalent. Again, these are not things that overturn a whole generation, but it's the thing that Cog and I always talk about, the death of 1,000 cuts, the recovery of 1,000 heals, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know.
I'm literally thinking the same analogy in my head. Literally, I was about to say.
It's the opposite of what they've been doing. So again, nothing will be substantial until games start to get delivered at a consistent quality cadence. Like if Fallout's amazing and we get a new Halo and that's amazing and Fable's amazing. And like there's a consistency of expecting that. That's when you could start to see some real overturn, because it's got to be 5 to 8 years of them doing that. But right now, these little things do keep us invested and interested, because we as Xbox fans know, hey, I'm interested in Gears this year. Hey, I'm interested in Fable next year. We already know that. So beyond that, what's keeping us engaging? Well, I know what's going to get me personally firing up my Xbox a little more is knowing that when achievements arrive for back compat games, I can go engage with the Xbox ecosystem in a new way. That excites me. Will that do the trick for everybody? No. But also, do I think that with what PlayStation's doing and with where this world is trending a bit, that there is a little more value on these things where some people might make more purchasing decisions based on it? Yes. Again, will it overturn a whole generation where it's going to no longer be 3-1 for Xbox? Probably not, because supply is still an issue. Price is still an issue. But do I think it's going to make people start to look that way over the years if they can figure out windows and stuff? Sure. I think that's the idea behind these decisions. Is like start, building it brick by brick. That's what has to happen here. So obviously huge fan of the move, long requested. I don't think it fixes anything immediately, but it's definitely, we're trending in the right direction, right? You've noticed defining Duke outside of Halo been a lot more positive these days, Cog.
A little fun.
Yeah. Halo, the reset. Fortunately, the reset didn't turn out in some ways to be as awful as expected.
Right.
But like otherwise, okay.
Yeah.
Feeling good with these little decisions here. I hope I didn't jinx it though. Cog, you're
I agree. I think you use the analogy I was going to use. It's almost like small W's by 1,000 cuts, right? So it's just like, you do enough of these and you start to pull the different threads of users that were either lapsed or were so disenchanted with the platform, like, you know what, I'm leaving. I think what their key objective is to retain, like you said, that 35 million or whoever it is, to keep them here. Then for people who are on the fringe that were like, hey, you know what? I was thinking about getting an Xbox, you know what I'm saying, as far as joining the ecosystem, but these are the things that keep me away. I don't know how they feel. What is they going to do about preservation? Are they going to give me a definitive thing? What are they going to do about the platform? And one thing we have to say about the Asha Sharma generation and regime is that she has been pro-platform, pro-player voice. And when you bring one of the more highly anticipated and requested features on the platform, you are literally the steward of bringing achievements into gaming, and you had been lapped by your competition. People always wanted to know, where is the trophy equivalent? Now you throw this in combination with, like you said, Maddie, back of Pat, Xbox One games, the Xbox 360 games, right? Things that were missing on the platform. And now you talk about Helix on PC and things of that nature. Now you're starting to build towards something, right? Yeah. And I think ultimately, is this one single thing going to turn a generation on? No. But what we're saying is, you keep doing enough of these in conjunction with great games, right? That's also like the games that you put out, are they quality? We're seeing the buzz about Gears E Day right now. People are like, yo, that looks exciting. We see the buzz about a Clockwork Revolution, all these games on the platform that are supposed to be scheduled for 2026, 2027. And now it starts to build something. Obviously, we still got the elephant in the room with Rampapocalypse. We know, we get it, right? But as far as making the console and the ecosystem more attractive, and they've got to give them their flowers as far as at least starting the conversation with preservation on how they attempt to tackle it, right? It seems more appealing. So appealing. So, to Caleb and everyone's comments, I do agree they don't get enough credit in this, and they got to continue it. That great games, but doing this achievement thing, doing this trophy is huge. I'm dying to know what the name's going to be. I want to know what the
Same.
name's going to be. I want to know how they tackle that. You know what I'm saying? But this is dope. And what it does is it brings people back from an engagement standpoint to say, okay, you know what? I love that title so much. I'm going to get that 1,000. You know what I mean? I want that physical, that the visual representation of it. You know what I'm saying? And that pop. What's that sound going to be like? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited, man. This is one thing that I love about the PlayStation ecosystem. When you got that platinum, it meant something. It was. And you listen. We
still does.
Cobra Command,
I love it. Yeah.
We work with Cobra Command. That's one of his favorite things. Yo, you got that platinum. He will flex that platinum. It brings that user loyalty to the game and the platform, the pride. Like, you want that. So, and it gives people an excuse to go back to games. You don't you like player engagement? What's Asha's thing?
1 billion players a day. Every little amount of people coming in counts at this point, right? So these are obvious boxes to check, I think.
Absolutely.
Let's park on the features a little bit. Obviously, we talked about the business part, but let's have some fun with this.
Let's go.
Do you think it's just the equivalent? Do you think they do more with it?
I mean, if you're the steward and now you're bringing it back, you got to bring it back, in my opinion, with a little bit more flavor. You got to give us an extra layer to it, right? Yeah, you do a trophy equivalent, but what else do you do? How do you incorporate that into the ecosystem? How do you incorporate gamer score a little bit more prominent? We know they've been flirting with the Xbox reward system and stuff like that. Like, one thing that Sony does that I think is really cool, if goes to Yotai, right? Yeah. Yotai, or I always butcher the name, or whatever it is.
Yotai is the name.
I always butcher it, sorry. Yeah. So Yotai, right? So one thing that I like is Sony will send me an email and they'd be like, hey, you get the trophy for the completion of the game. You unlock the ability to now purchase this special edition shirt. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, it doesn't have to be all about monetization, but I'm from the era of 360. Remember when we had Xbox avatars?
Yeah.
Remember,
do you think they're going to bring that back? Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't know if they're going to bring it back, but I want them to get into the thinking that if you're going to do a trophy equivalent, right? You unlock this. You should now have access to something to promote that fandom and that accomplishment. It doesn't necessarily have to be, always monetization, but I remember back in the day, it used to be like gamer picks. Remember, your avatar would have a special shirt that said, you beat whatever. Like, think about the Gears of War. One of the hardest achievements was because they called Seriously, where you've got like 10,000 kills in the game. And it was one of the craziest shit. But you got to let the person flex that in some visual representation or on the platform. And I think these are ways to get. I know Mikey Barra at one point, they were flirting with way, to reward people who play the forever games, right? Because they feel like, once you got the 1,000 on those, you're kind of done, right? And there's nothing else. They've got to get creative. You're the leader. So Great Wizard, Jason Ronald, platform team, all you guys, come up with an extension to take this even further. We are happy about this, but now really incorporate it into the platform. And I think they could get really creative and do some exciting things with it.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do, if it's going to be like a medal system. I'm also wondering if it's going to be more retroactive. That's something I was thinking about too, is it going to be, all games moving forward, or is it going to be like a program where it's done in waves, or how is this added in? Because there are examples. I think of the PS3 generation where you could see where the line was drawn, where trophies started to take off because they changed how their cover art worked. Then there was a banner and it would say multiplayer trophies. Like, it would have all these kind of points on what online PSN functionality was supported with that game. And I always remember looking when I was really big into trophy and achievement hunting. I always remember being hyped to see this has trophies. Okay, cool. Because games like Metal Gear Solid 4, before it got patched, that didn't have trophies initially. So that was a big deal to me. So yeah, I'm just wondering again if they're going to do that retroactively and be like, all these previous games, we're taking what is the platinum trophy and we're just adding it to our system. Because one thing that they did do is their weird Band-Aid attempt at this was, if you were getting achievements for a game, when you got all the achievements, they give you a final achievement. And it wouldn't be like a crown jewel, like a separate thing, like a separate currency, if you will. Right. It was just more gamer score. I was like, you got all the achievements, bro.
Right.
And I was like, that's that's the best you could do. Like that's all you could come up with.
Right.
So I'm just glad to see that we're actually taking a true measure here. And this is where the whole clarity is kindness thing is really great from Asha. It's like, yeah, very kind to you to finally, after all this time, address this. So
yes,
very excited to see what this turns out to be. It looks like Xbox has a lot of core user features that they're kind of sitting on for this anniversary. Yeah. So very excited to see how it all turns out. But
absolutely.
Anyway, we'll talk more about back compat in a little bit. For now, let's talk a bit more about Asha Sharma. A memo leaked via The Verge, and we have the quote here from GameSpot. And I just want to go over what Asha's rallying cry is once more internally. So GameSpot writes, in a memo to staff obtained by The Verge, Sharma shared the top Xbox priorities for the current fiscal year and beyond. These included 4 main buckets: core, content, creation, and connection. Some of the efforts include making Minecraft the world's creator platform and getting Xbox games to become global franchises. She also wants to strengthen the platform led by console and undertake an effort to extend the worlds that fans love. The 4 pillars, as written by Sharma, are the core, which is to strengthen our platform led by console content, grow great games into global franchises, creation, make Minecraft the world's creator platform, and connection, extend the worlds that fans love. This is hot on the heels of her talking about, again, like our business did not grow. New players did come to Xbox with the recent fiscal year report. More than 200 million players came to Xbox, and I assume she's including things like mobile there and Battle.net and everything. But she said our business did not grow with our audience. So to close that gap, we must invest in what players value. And this will take time, but not that much time, at least for the first stage, in which she expects to return to growth by the end of fiscal year 27. So June 30th, 2027 is when Asha Sharma expects to see a turnaround begin. In her memo, Sharma said for fiscal year 28 and 29, the Xbox division must move into businesses producing meaningful player value and revenue acceleration. She also talked about trying to scale what works. By fiscal year 2030, she said Xbox's ambition is to be about halfway to their long-term daily. So if they're looking for $1 billion, by 2030, they're expecting to hit 500 million across all the platforms that they're on per day.
Yeah, it's very, very ambitious. Yes.
Additionally, Sharma said Xbox is already one of the largest stadiums out there, reaching 100 million people daily, 500 million monthly, and nearly 1 billion each year. She also spoke to how important the console is, saying that the console generates the majority of Xbox revenue and remains the foundation of our fandom. Microsoft is working on a new system, Project Helix, but it may be undergoing changes due to the AI-related memory and component pressures. Also in the memo, Sharma talked about moving away from a decentralized model for game development to a system that is more focused around our strongest franchises and biggest new ideas. Part of this has included, of course, focusing on things like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but we also heard in the list was Halo. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there.
Mm-hmm.
She added that Xbox leadership is coming up with long-term plans for the company's biggest franchises, spanning games, film, TV, consumer products, live experiences, sponsorships, and doing more in China. Something that we talked about during the Genshin Impact days, when that whole game just stormed the scene, and we were like, Xbox missed out on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, dude, they're focusing on film and TV, and that's the long and short of her write-up. How are we feeling about the plan moving forward? Where she wants to be a year from now by 2030, and how she plans to get there.
The quadruple C's. This is going to be a challenge. Let's just be real with the realities of the business, right? These are very lofty priorities for fiscal 2027. After coming off the recent earnings report, where it was not very good. And to her credit, once again, she jumps out in front of it, says what their North Star is as far as the fiscal future, what they're going to try to accomplish as far as being profitable. This is not going to be easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Some people will push back and say, I don't know if you're living in the reality based on what is happening in this current climate, as well as Rampocalypse that, as we just announced, more console increases, I don't know if that's on the docket as far as...
it is.
Okay, so I won't go too deep in that. No, but, the main thing is this. what I do like about the vision, selfishly, is returning to strengthening platform, right? That I see console is still part of this future, that they still want to invest and give people a reason. And I think that's important. Now, as far as the positive, they are still the stewards of some of the biggest franchises, you know what I mean? And how they leverage them. I like the idea of the focusing on the tent poles. I think that is correct. That is something you need to do, right? We've lamented about how long the games take and why certain things haven't been prioritized and others deprioritized. So when I hear Elder Scrolls as a tent pole, when I hear Fallout as a tent pole, that's the correct thing. You need to focus on that, right? So I like that. I like the aspect of shifting on that. And now they got to figure out the growth part. That's going to be the hardest thing.
Yeah.
How do you get to these lofty expectations of daily users? How do you get to these lofty expectations of, revenue growth when you do have a Satya Nadella say, hey, we need this to be where it need to be. And you got your whole chest out about where you should. Now, look, I know where part of that is from. A part of that is in a world that, let's be honest, Grand Theft Auto is about to come out. Right. And they're expecting, that to happen as far as, growth there. But the biggest thing for them, in my opinion, besides Rampocalypse, which is probably number one, how do you get the Xbox user base and the storefront purchases to start happening in a world, right, where Game Pass probably is making more or equal to the amount of revenue on the actual storefront? I would think they want people to also buy from the Xbox store, right? And get that part up. So these are the challenges. All this sounds great, right? I love all of it. I just want to see the practical application with the climate that you're in, especially when they told us to judge them by content and services, right? Sure. And that part has still been down, right? So how do you navigate that and the hardware? That's the biggest question. I do like the ambition. Clearly, they have some form of plan, and her and Matthew Ball are going to kick off. I'm all ears. I want to know what it is, but I do like the idea of the things that I talk about. All I question is the execution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like that the ambition's there. I wonder if a lot of this plan is banking on emerging from Rampocalypse and kind of being like, we're the most ready to go when this is over. Like, there's no beating this beast. So it's about preparing your ecosystem for when things in an ideal world become affordable again. That's one way of looking at it. But I think it's only going to entrench people deeper in wherever they are, because they're going to be making more and more tight decisions and they're not going to want to embrace change. It seems like the days of Xbox everywhere are over. So I don't think that's your solution. So how are you reaching all these players? And that's where I wonder about, like, how much we see decisions we're excited about, like Platinum Trophy stuff and retro achievements, and how much of that is appeasement over time versus, actually hitting this billion player goal. And how much mobile, for example, plays a factor in that, I think that's like a huge one. Or Minecraft, of course. Like, there's a reason she's targeting platforms, because they're probably looking at Roblox and saying, we have like two equivalent right there. We have Minecraft, which if we continue to invest in and nurture in, like, it's already huge for creators. It's huge for like people to make careers off of. And you got Elder Scrolls 6, where like Bethesda just, I'm sure she looked at the creation system and thought to herself, that's it. Like, that is what is going to keep people coming back, is if we have Elder Scrolls 6 in our ecosystem. But do you want that exclusively? There's a lot of tough questions she's got to answer to hit this goal. So it'll be very interesting to see. But I think the platform part is the most important part. I think Fallout, like, there's no doubt in my mind that they have to figure out something with player modding for these remasters. I think if engagement is everything, and these are your biggest franchises, they need to figure out console mods for things like Fallout 3 Remaster, Oblivion Remastered, New Vegas Remastered. They have to make it where, like, whatever engine you use, it's not a factor, basically. Because at least with Creation Engine, like, oh, they're going to put creations on this, right? That's why Skyrim got it. Fallout 4 got it retroactively as well. Starfield basically shipped with it. Like, yeah, we know, like, this is their plan. But for those games, they're like the odd ones out now, and they're going to be huge player drivers. Like, you don't want them just, like, if you're Xbox, you don't want them just to buy Fallout 3. Oh, this is great. Play it, drop it. They want you to keep coming back. And so that's the thing to pay attention to is these big things like Halo. I'm sure her eyes lit up when she saw the Forge. It's like, oh, that's a platform. So that's the thing to look to, I think, is to take these massive franchises and turn them into platforms, whether it's like Bethesda, where it's like multiple platforms, or I don't know what they do with Halo at this point. Fuck. I mean, we'll talk about that next. But yeah,
bro,
that's kind of where my theory is lying here, because I think it's the only way you can get that recurrent engagement with these massive titles.
You cooking, bro. I'm with you. I think that, again, getting leaner, right? Trimming the fat of, things that, as she quoted, don't necessarily fit within their current model of what they, especially with game development being so expensive, and you need to have hits. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah. So now we're stripping down, right? Head count included, sadly, but also studio tent poles, right? So now you got that. I love what you said about the making the games the platform, because remember her core statement: Minecraft King. Mojang, you report to me.
Yeah.
These are the healthier parts of the business. So this is the challenge. This is what I think they may be doing. They may be saying, we have to have a model like this with our biggest franchises to then expand. That's why I see the multiple Fallout games. Also, tackling the technical challenge of bringing mods and all these other things so that we would have what we consider the stickiness of the platform, right? Because again, good example with Halo, with Forge. Why was that not ready at launch for Infinite, right? That could have caused more engagement, more stickiness. Also, the things that people are not going to like, though, in terms of we're going to retain the millennials and the Gen Xers by giving them what they want. But the reality may be that that's not the way to grow the business long term. We keep you guys. The reality is we got to get these alphas and these people who were not going to buy a console. Okay, how do we do that? You add, obviously, we're going to have to throw away in the mobile again, Maddie. On some levels, we got to have the King equivalent. We got to have something for them, free to play, add things, some things to get in there. And also, the thing that I think, this is my prediction.
Okay.
In a world where Helix is going to exist and looks like it's still full steam ahead, right? In a world where this thing may be a premium device for $1,000, whatever, where you are not getting the one-to-one series guys getting all of getting helixes. It's just not. I think we're going to be in a cross-generational mode for a longer time, where Series X and S are still going to have to be viable, right, to get as the entry point. And maybe when Remapocalypse comes away, that finally lowers. Helix still becomes the premium thing, but you got to keep them around longer, because we're in a world where PS4 and Xbox One games are just now getting discontinued, right? So it just shows you the stickiness from the Sinister Six games keeping people in. They're going to have to figure out a way to navigate Ramapocalypse that way. And I think that's part of it. So it's going to be a generational change. And I do agree with the Xbox Everywhere model. I think that's why they go extra hard with the back compatibility to make sure generationally everyone's, and include the PC, because we got to get more revenue from PC. We got to get them guys in. Yeah. Oh, you never played 360 games? You never played back compat game? You never had Xbox? Hey, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's part of all this. So yeah, we will see. It's still very ambitious. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's going to be very difficult for them to try to hit these goals. But I, like you said earlier, I like the ambition. And selfishly, as a console guy, you're giving me, what I want, and you're barreling to keeping that part of the core tenet of what Xbox is. I have to commend that, because that's the future I want. I'd rather you, if you're going to die on your shield with the stuff that I want you to do. and hopefully you figure it out that way.
Fighting, right?
Yeah, die fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. So interesting game plan. We'll see how it all unpacks over time, but these are like the difference between the long term, where we're just gonna have to wait and see, like a Fallout, like we'll see how the plan goes for that, versus something like short term. How does retro achievements, how does back compat really add to this formula? Let's keep going, Cog. Let's talk about our favorite franchise. And I mean, honestly, I say that facetiously, but like really, this is something that we care a lot about. And it's very frustrating to see the position it's in. So as we know, based on inside reports, there's a big gamble going on about exclusive games. One of the games that Xbox was trying to fight from, not going multi-plat was Halo, but it was too late. too late in the game, had to ship it on PlayStation. It's clear this last leadership group bet in a similar way to PlayStation on novelty factor. Like, oh, Gears on PlayStation, that's so weird. 8 million copies sold. Oh man, Halo on PlayStation, 10 million copies sold. That has clearly failed outside of Forza Horizon and Sea of Thieves. It seems like service games have a future there, but otherwise it does not look like this multi-platform push was worth at all the brand damage. And worst of all, if you even double the estimates we're going to share with you today, Halo is in a tragic position when it comes to brand appeal. And also when you throw in there the games that beat it, it makes sense in some respects, but there are other games above it that have shipped like as much as 13 years ago, doubling Halo's estimates on PlayStation. So the brand damage was not worth it, especially for this franchise. And that whole novelty factor that PlayStation banked on going to PC, and they had like early success. They're like, okay, let's keep going. And then they noticed things like Miles Morales, like, oh, that didn't even pass 500,000. Gamers are just different breed of customers, man. I don't think they're very predictable like the spreadsheets like to tell you. I think there are certain easy wins, of course. There are layups. This should have been one of them to some extent. But interestingly, as we'll learn with these estimates from Millennia Analytics, Halo is selling best on Xbox, which I really thought might not be the case. I was like, I think we all got Master Chief Collection. I know we're most invested in the Chief, but let's read here. First and foremost, these are estimates from Millennia Analytics on July's top PlayStation games by copies sold. This includes PS4 and PS5 copies. The list: Black Ops 2, the port, 8.2 million. Black Ops 1, 3 million. Black Flag Resynced, 1.6 million. Football Club 26, 1.3 million. College Football 27, 1.1 million. Grand Theft Auto 5, there it is, 846,000. I just got to throw this out there. I say it every time I see this. This is like the dead internet theory to me. I'm like, who the fuck is still buying it? I'm telling you, 1 million people almost still don't have this game.
Still don't have it.
Who are you? Who are you? Where are you? How do you not own this game?
I know.
In the millions now. We're talking like
crazy.
It's unbelievable. I'm just like, I have hit a breaking point. I'm like every month, every year. Who doesn't have it? What? Anyway.
It's crazy. Real talk.
Minecraft, 501K. Power World, 479K. And then there's Halo at the bottom of this list. 351,000 copies sold. And you cannot spin it any other way. This number is atrocious. Now, there's additional insight from the Substack by Reese Elliott that I wanted to read here. They write, Halo Campaign Evolved, the ground-up graphical remake of Halo Combat Evolved, had a notably slow start on PlayStation, which stings even more next to the success of 2 light-effort ports for Call of Duty. Halo sold 351K copies on PS5 in July and 452K on PlayStation to date. $60 was way too much for this one. And for comparison, Halo has sold through 212,000 on Steam and around 900,000 on Xbox for console and PC. So the Xbox app and console. One can't help but wonder what Halo would have been like if it had kept the trajectory around 3 and Reach. A remake of a game that started all landing this softly on a new platform makes me pretty sad as a Halo fan. July's PS5 charts then is clearly all about nostalgia and the catalog. A proven beloved old game dropping at the right moment and just as importantly at the right price can out-earn almost anything new and buy a bit of breathing room in the slate. COD got it, Halo didn't. $50 for what's essentially a graphical touch-up of a 2001 game was always going to be a hard sell, and players clearly weren't having it. I thought those were pretty harsh words, of course, but again, like even Steam, right? 212.
Yeah, numbers.
That's bad. And again, I know a lot of people are going to hit us with that. Well, Game Pass, dude, we got to stop lowering the bar. Your expectations should be lowered as in like quality wise, because that's what's been served to you. But performance wise, this franchise is capable of way more. It's a social event when this thing happens. It used to be.
Yeah.
There's so many stories about this game now floating around. Rebs Gaming shared a report, for example, on how they outsourced level design and technical design to abstraction. They outsourced the entire end-to-end art process to Virtuos. They outsourced to another studio, the cinematics. This entire project was barely touched by them until it was so on fire, they had to pause their own project in Ecker to go to try to save this one. And what you got is considered its best version, which is still terrible. So again, I know there are hardworking devs at Halo Studios that are just doing their job.
For sure.
But this is where we go to management again. They make these types of calls to outsource the entire project. They let technical and level design go to a company that's not Halo Studios. What are you in name alone, that should be your job. You set the boundaries. You decide those things. It's your project. What this looks to me is like a great spreadsheet pitch. Sorry, I can barely talk. What it looks like to me is someone in a boardroom went, probably Pierre Hintz, was like, yo, we're going to outsource. It's going to be a cheap development on Unreal Engine 5, familiar tech. We can get all these teams together. They'll handle this, and that. And while we're cooking on a multi-platform remake of the most iconic Halo game next to 3, we're going to be working on the next chapter of Halo. Not anticipating if their new tech pipeline was ready for any of this, which also Rebs reported on, saying that their ability to not only have these assets made, but then merge them together in a lot of ways required them to totally redo it. So they were not prepared because this is entirely new tech to this team because they were working on a proprietary engine beforehand. All is that to say is that I am not surprised by the news that's breaking as we talk, which is that we are starting to see layoffs at Halo Studios. But mark this, it will not matter until management changes. It will not matter, in my opinion, until I see IP move somewhere else. But again, what you see here is the brand suicide that Xbox committed for what we all thought would be next to Forza the best seller. Like there's no longer oh man, it's Gears like a remaster. And yeah, you could soften this a little bit by saying, hey, you got Halo Campaign Evolved or Combat Evolved 3 other times. And I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is a remake. It is a new thing with new changes, new features, new missions. There's enough new here where it should have sparked some level of interest if it was good.
Right.
But it speaks to its quality. It speaks to the indifference of it all. It speaks to the lack of knowledge that the stewards of this franchise have, where they'd ship this game without multiplayer. That is the main draw for Halo. I love its campaigns, but that's the main draw. And then the price tag on top of it all. Just so much wrong with this. Should never have gone like this. So frustrating, but telling numbers. And the last thing I'll just say on the estimates, because I see some people at times push back against Alinea. 3 things. 1, go put pressure on the publishers to share their numbers. I would happily not use Alinea if Xbox wants to share their numbers. They never will. So this is what we get. 2, it's been proven time and time out. Colin himself has shown that Alinea's analytics estimates are very close to the real figure. Yeah. And that's really all we need for a conversation. And 3, you could double the numbers on PlayStation. I'd still be saying the same thing here.
Right.
So this should be doing way better. It's not. Cog, my rant is over. I pass it to you. Your thoughts on this?
Not much nice things I have to say once again. Look, by any other franchise, yeah, they'd be like, oh, Cog, 2 million or whatever it is. If you look at all the platforms and, that's not bad. And yeah, but this is in comparison to one of the greater franchises of all time, and we've seen what their peak is, right? We've seen what the peak of Halo is. And so this is a massive disappointment. This is like you said, in a boardroom, they had a vision coming into this, right? And if you want to blame this on Plash Regime, fair enough, because they could say, yo, I think Forza was the fool's gold, right? It was like, yo, look what our franchises could do, right?
Yeah.
This is the pitch to stakeholders when the multi-platform, or maybe the stakeholders put the pressure on, say, hey, this is what needs to happen. We can't lock this down. Look how they're clamoring for our franchises. Look at them seeing thieves. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, they got gas. They were like, look at that grounded numbers. We gonna beat that. We gonna be the Scrooge McDuck, DuckTales, diving into the, you know what I'm saying? They had the vision. They like, I can see it.
They'll say all they want, but we're right at the end.
Yes. They'll complain, but you see those, look at the Forza Horizon 5 checks coming in right now. We'll thrive. We'll be the biggest publisher in gaming.
I love evil villain Cog, like where he's meticulously planning here.
Look
and we'll thrive.
We'll thrive. They'll complain, but we'll be cashing the checks and we'll be the biggest publisher in gaming. No one will rival us. I know what the thought was. You know what I'm saying? And then slowly but surely, we started to get the rest of the Xbox Game Studio family, as well as, exclusive things that were supposed to be exclusive that now go over to PlayStation. But the Halo one has to hurt. They knew in their mind, this is the flagship. PlayStation fans have been clamoring. And what you realize is two things. One, the franchise, the brand damage of the franchise being held by Halo Studios is significant. We cannot ignore it now, right? No. So the videos are coming out when people are seeing the changes, the lack of AI, the no campaign. I mean, no multiplayer is huge, right? Because you don't even have the stickiness to keep them involved on PlayStation with one of the stronger tentpole tenets of what Halo is, right? Multiplayer, the campaign. Also, we talked about earlier, Forge, right? All that type of stuff, right? So you don't have any of that to keep the user engagement. Then on top of that, it's considered an okay port. And from the Xbox standpoint, we've already had 2 versions of that. So the base, it did better on the core base, but that wasn't your North Star with this. You wanted this to be a global multi-platform phenomenon, and it did not even come close to that. So shout out to Reason and Linear Analytics, because at the same time, is this the exact numbers? But from what we've seen from them so far, they're very good ballpark, right? At least these are good points of reference to glean from. And this is atrocious for what they intended. And it shows that this is where Asha comes in. It shows that the multi-platform bet was a failure. It just does. We can't cycle around. This was supposed to be
There's enough outliers where it's like, I see why there was some interest, but it clearly was a hasten plan. And
right.
Yeah.
And now what we're getting, in my opinion, from the social media and there's just engagement numbers, you're seeing apathy. Where it's just like, you know what I'm saying? From an Xbox standpoint, it's like, the Xbox fandom, like, hey, we never wanted to see this day because you gave away your soul, and we told you not to give away your soul.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
This is the byproduct of what happens, right? Then on the PlayStation side, it's like, okay, we got it. It's like you got the figure. It's like, like Game of Thrones, they got the heads of the bodies of the fallen victors. You got Ned Stark's head there. There's Ned Stark. We got it now. But it didn't even feel that great to the PlayStation guys. Because again, for whatever reason, whether it be the Halo brand damage, the Xbox brand damage, there's still apathy. Like, yeah, okay, we did it. Ha, we got it. But it didn't resonate the way they thought it was. And this is just bad all around. So, kudos to current regime for kind of saying, all right, we get in the vibe, there's not going to be any more of that. And according to even as much so to say, like, we get the vibe that if it was up to them, besides Gears E-Day, they would have looked like they could try to cut Fable from them and do other things from them. I mean, that's probably because they said they're going to honor contractual stuff at this point. But yeah, it's just a bad loss all around. And then the final things, obviously, about what you said about the Halo development, obviously, as we are recording right now, the layoffs seem to be going down. I don't know if we'll touch that, but it's just a sad situation all around, because the fact that this game now comes out, you hear about how troubled this development was. You hear the fact that Halo Studios themselves didn't even have, major components of the game that they're responsible for. This is all outsourced. So you say, okay, that's cool if you're Bethesda and you've got Elder Scrolls 6 that you're working on, you've got Fallout that we are coming to learn that every project that they themselves are working on has been canceled, or it seems to be shut down, or in limbo, or in flux, which goes to a management issue. What the hell are you doing? Why are you in such flux? And that's why people are so frustrated. There's no future pillar, right, for us to be excited about. There's no JPEG of like how we had like Elder Scrolls 6. At least we knew something's coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, what is coming? You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so bleak. So again, Asha Sharma and company, their biggest challenge is you claiming this is going to be a tentpole. This dying, decaying franchise that is your soul Now, what do you do to actually do it? And my judgment is what I see up top. What happens there? Studio direction, leadership direction. We've seen everything from Halo Studios to this point, and now it's time to make necessary change to actually save this actual beloved IP.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Just can't keep going like this. I mean, like, at what point? I don't know how they have defenders left. I just, there's no sales on a level that's substantial. There's no Halo project, if reports are to be believed, on the horizon. We had confirmation from Jez that at least the closest one got canceled. Anything mainline was far away. It's been 5 years since your last main Halo game, so that's just unbelievable. Because, like, again, this is a very eerily similar situation to Fallout, where we're like, how long is it going to be? But the difference is that Fallout's got pull. Halo doesn't have any right now. And the main thing we're registering here, we're processing as a collective, is just like the damage over time. There were so many times this could have stopped. And you do have to wonder if it's truly irreparable. Where I will say, out of all Asha's done that I've agreed with, I do look at her desire to invest heavily in Halo, and I'm like, why? I love Halo. I want Halo to be a thing. But why? What money is it making you? What relevance does it have? Like, Fallout and Elder Scrolls make sense.
Right.
For all people hate on Bethesda, and I agree with a lot of it right now, those games fucking pull. And a lot. A lot. Not just players, but money. Right. And the show is really well. But when you look at Halo, it's like, okay, we had Anniversary Edition, chip. Think of it like JRPGs. Just think chip damage. I'm going to list out a bunch of things for you. Anniversary Edition, 4. 4 is multiplayer. 5. Marketing for 5. Sweaty multiplayer for 5. Sprint Gate. Mantle Gate. The show. Season 1. Season 2. Infinite. Infinite's multiplayer, we're up. Post-launch, down. Forge, not there at launch. Oh, sorry. Delayed a year from it when it was supposed to be a launch exclusive.
Yes.
Forgot to throw that one in there.
Including campaign. Including co-op, not available.
Yes. Years of Silence. Gets a rebranding, a doubling down, new engine, outsourcing projects, starts again. Campaign Evolved Remake, which, by the way, they should know Combat Evolved more than Bungie at this point, because they've worked on it twice now between Anniversary Edition and Master Chief Collection. Forgot to throw that in there. Master Chief Collection launches. Broken as fuck.
Oh, God.
Does a great job recovering it, but broken as fuck. Like,
for a long time.
That was like the moment. That was the backbreaker for Xbox One, I think. That's where we were all like, oh, it's over. There's no, like, this was the game, and it's over. Forgot to throw that in there. That's how many mess ups there's been, by the way. Let's go back to Campaign Evolved. The story being, outsource this game in the years that nothing is happening for Halo. 5 years go by, you have a shoddy remake of an all-time classic, a canceled multiplayer project that pivoted twice in its development, that also, by the way, started with an external studio and you brought internally. So wisdom would suggest years before you even made your transition, this wasn't a play. You made a whole play based on that. You bring that in-house. You're like, okay, we're going to work on this. We're going to get this out. You turn it from a battle royale game into an extraction shooter. You turn it from an extraction shooter into maybe a big team battle mode, and you cancel the whole fucking thing because you had to go fix your remake because nothing was working there. And then you ship the remake to a full platform, which a multi-platform launch, which then makes your core audience think you hate them. You sell the worst on that new platform, because most people on PlayStation are probably lapsed 360 fans. So they already experienced this.
Yes, good call out.
And then here we are, 2026, no new Halo game in sight. And that's the indifference. It's not, we could all point to one moment it broke our back, where we're like, damn, dude, that's it for me. But this has been, they've had it, someone put it in the comments, they've had it longer than Bungie. And it's like, we have fucked around and found out on so many occasions. What's it going to take, dude? This even its most hardcore Chris Ray gun is indifferent.
That's
what have you done to him? You know,
like, what have you done?
Like he is indifferent, dude. Not that he's ever been like a fanboy by any means, but we're talking about a guy who really, like me with Fallout.
Yes.
When you see me getting indifferent with Fallout, which I was, what does that tell you about the state of your brand when your super fans are done?
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not sustainable either, because they're your champions. They're going to be the ones who are like, when things start to get a little messy, are like, hey, let's focus for a moment. Like, what's the real problem here? Let's champion the conversation a bit. So I know a lot of what I just went over is retreading old ground for a lot of people, but just to really put into perspective, it's not recency bias. This is a fucking disaster class of project management. Over and over and over, no matter who you bring in. This is a cursed ass team. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's time. It's been time.
Again, I will not push back in any capacity on any new suggestions as far as the direction of where it's going. And this is what I will say. The only positive I will say is shout out to Asha Sharma for, in this sense, we know her to be new to the games industry. We know her to be new to this field. If she came at this with complete, cold-hearted, non-gaming acumen sentiments, right? This franchise should not be named as a tentpole, technically, right?
Yeah.
If we look at it, she could easily say, why are we doing this? So what I will say is, from whether it be her platform, player voice, all the data points she's getting from sentiment.
Yeah.
Not results, not revenue, not sentiment. Player sentiment is that this is the soul. This is a lifeblood IP. Even though it has shown no metrics though in the recent years of being worthy of being part of the tentpoles, right? She's saying that, no, this needs to be. So for that, I want to respect it, because we all love Halo. Let's just be clear. Like, the Xbox fan base loves this to its core. So she is fighting for it. And I want to commend that. But to your point, under any spreadsheet circumstances, from any managerial standpoint, it technically shouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reality, right? And it pains me to say it. If it wasn't for this franchise, I wouldn't even be part of your ecosystem. So salute to her for recognizing how much it means to us. Now the hard part of your leadership. What are you going to do about it? How are you realistically going to? This is going to be one of your inflection points on your leadership step, because this was a failure from the past regime. There's no getting around of it. We know the quotes. We know all that. This franchise is nowhere near where it needs to be. So it's heartbreaking, and I'm dying to know what will be done to actually course correct. Because this is what, again, you want to talk about Rampapocalypse? Halo. Oh my God, what are you doing with this? That is the question.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part I wonder too, is like, what is the answer? And any way you go about it, you let them stick with the franchise. It's gonna be a while before we see something new. You outsource it. We know how that went. And honestly, what's so funny is Bethesda also outsourced a lot of their development for Oblivion Remaster to Virtuos. And so there seems to be a good partnership there. And again, this kind of speaks to where Halo Studios is at, where it's like, oh, that didn't work well for you guys, though. Do you ice it for a while? I don't think that seems to be part of her plans if she wants to invest in it.
Right.
Do you spin up a whole new team? I'm a little hesitant about that.
What about a team from
existing
ex Bungie employee leadership that were there from the beginning that may know the core? Would that excite you? Would that excite you if some big names who were from Bungie proper?
To be clear, and this will sound extreme, but to be clear, any one not Halo Studios would interest me.
Fair enough.
I'm in my desperate bag
you're
right
in your
now.
Desperate bag.
Like you're single for a while. You're like, you'll do it.
You do. You looking hot for tonight. Come on. Look, you know what I'm saying? It ain't even a beer goggle situation. It's just, look, we need something to happen. You know what I mean?
That's my point.
I feel. So
Whether
what
it's
about
internal, external?
external? Okay, so let's go external because one of the
Sure.
debates on IOP, I want to shout out to Rook. There's a lot of people who are like, yo, what's up? What's up with it? Some people are like, yo, what's up with coalition? Let's look at external candidates. Maddie, like how do you rank your prospects, your Halo? We do a Halo Tinder. Who you looking out there? You know what I'm saying? Who you swiping left? Who you swiping right? And throw some names. Let's throw some machine games. Let's throw some id. Let's throw some coalition, Unreal Engine, or maybe somebody I even talk about on your list. Who you scrolling through on your phone?
I am super liking machine games. I think
super like.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm making sure they know I like them.
Okay, super like. We're gonna do that.
For me, machine games is like the perfect fit because they have some first-person shooting prowess. They've made really fun games. But equally important to Halo, they have really nailed narrative stuff. And we just don't get a lot of great like first-person shooting campaigns anymore. I feel like they'd handle it. To me, the dream is a co-developed effort. It's machine games. It's an id Tech-driven Halo game.
Okay.
It's machine games doing the story, and id is doing the multiplayer.
Okay.
Because id has the multiplayer prowess that machine games really doesn't. But they have interesting ideas. They have Doom 2016's multiplayer, which I really liked personally. It was just classic arena-based multiplayer. And I think if they brought that flavor into Halo, I think it would be great.
Okay.
Battle mode, though, in Eternal was not great.
Right.
And that let you like play as like a demon, and then you get attacked by 4 different like Doom Slayers.
Okay.
And then that's why they just did away with it in Dark Ages. And I was like totally for it. Like, yeah, less is more in this case. Like, y'all did not know last time. Like, don't even waste the resources.
Okay.
That's my dream scenario. Okay. I think the only shitty part is like machine games has totally earned the right to do their own thing. They make anytime they're given the autonomy, unlike something with Youngblood. Otherwise, I think anytime they have stepped up to the plate, they have delivered for me big time.
Yes.
Whether it be Indiana Jones or older Wolfenstein games. So I would not like to put the pressure on them, but I would love to see them do Halo.
Okay.
Otherwise, your options are pretty limited internally, I'd say. Yeah. There, of course, everyone's looking at Activision now. I'm like, I don't want that.
You don't want that?
No. Unless Raven Software.
All right.
That I would really entertain that one. I love Raven, but
okay.
I don't know, dude. I don't think they destabilize any of that Call of Duty sweatshop. So you mentioned Coalition. It's so funny you bring that up because with Unreal Engine 5, I just started to think like,
who's the masters?
Yeah, I was like, that would be hilarious if they just spun up a second. I think you know what? Shit, you just opened my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw out a fun scenario here.
Let's do it.
Hey, we really like what Playground Games is doing. You got the Fable team and you've got the Forza team under one umbrella. Does the Coalition become the Gears team and the Halo team? But that would be crazy. I mean, the way they honored Gears, it really, I will say with E-Day so far and everything we've played, it did make me like go, hey, you guys know how to do your research and translate it into a workable game. Like, how about Halo? Let's see if we're going Unreal Engine Halo, let's see where it goes here. I would feel pretty good in their hands because I also thought their transition into Gears 4 was pretty good. It wasn't perfect. We talk about fighting robots and shit.
Right.
Like, just like getting rid of enemies that like spew gore is not really Gears, but otherwise I enjoyed it. The Force Awakens of the Gears franchise is how I describe it. Totally fine. Serviceable. I would do with that right now pretty well with Halo. If I got an excellent Halo game, like what E-Day is shaping up to be, I think I'd be over the fucking moon. But I do wonder if they're looking at that, like scaling up, like identifying tech within one of the teams and scaling up a squad within that umbrella. The IP stays internal, but it's Coalition though, that'd be hilarious if they were handling both the major shooter franchises from the 360 days.
Boy. I'm swiping though. I'm super liking. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out.
Thinking? I'm out of ideas.
No, I'm thinking this. I want to give credit to who actually came up with that idea, which is Kig. He was the one that managed the Coalition. I was like, you know what? More that I think about it, especially in a world with Unreal Engine, right? That is. But I got a different approach. I want them to do what Asha and them are doing. If we're going to swipe on Coalition, we're going to swipe on Machine, and we're going to swipe on id. If that is the play, then I want y'all to handle the spin-off franchise, like the way Obsidian is going to have their Fallout, but it's not necessarily mainline, but it's Obsidian. So it's going to be canon. It's going to be the spin-off. So you still keep the flavor of what you do. So if it's Machine Games or Coalition, I want it to be, gory and gritty.
Yeah.
And I want a dope narrative that is contained fully throughout, paced correctly, no external sources, no grimoire. We want a full, dopely told story in the Halo universe from start to finish, right? I want that. So let's get the franchise excitable about this universe again, get people excited about this universe that they have. Now, as far as mainline, yes, I'm a glutton for punishment, but let me finish. You have to change leadership. I am going to be on this train for the longest. And I don't know what he's doing. I should make the call. Get Joseph Staten free from Netflix or whatever the hell he's doing. That man understood. That man understood. You know how I felt about Marines and the story in the game and the plan. Sure. We had things about the endless. We had a thing. We had a North Star where they were going to go with Infinite. And then all of a sudden, that's gone. You can't, I'm speculating, but you can't make me not believe that he was not happy and may have took his ball and went elsewhere because of things that he may not have been happy with. Because remember, he came off the couch on his own to save
so
Infinite.
Funny to think about. He's just like, this will not fly. He's like, I need to get involved.
You know how much passion, how much love you got to have for something? To see your child being misabused, and you like, nah, y'all not doing that to mom. Hold on, let me make a call. Okay, yes, I'm interested. Can we put some Marines in the damn game? when Marines were in the game, I was like, and you realize the decision making. Call Joseph Staten, let him pick who he wants to pick.
Okay.
Let also, if you want to get some talent in there, there are some luminaries from Bungie that are lurking, right? Hey, let's construct that team. You know what I'm saying? So that would be me. And yes, we're still years away from another Halo mainline. But treat it the way you treating Fallout right now. We're still a while from a mainline Fallout, but we know Obsidian got this in the tuck right now. So give one of those other studios the spinoff. Get us excited with that. Me personally, I am now in Chris Raygun mode. Go away from the remake game that you thought you was doing. It doesn't serve any purpose. Halo should be the indicator now to say, the apathy is there. You're not doing the multi-platform push. The PlayStation fan didn't even want one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got the data. The data is like, they not even go away until it's time for the new and let these things cook. And that's where I'm at with it, right? I wouldn't be mad at either, but something has to change. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Short list. Do a little short Band-Aid fixes for right now is where I'm at.
Well, I don't envy Asha's position, so time will truly tell on this one, on what direction she wants to take it in. As we were talking, layoffs have started to begin, and so we'll see what changes over time, if anything at all.
If anything, right?
All right. Console price increase. How about it? This already happened in the US. We have clearer numbers now for the UK and Europe. So just for our overseas brethren, we just want to fill you in on the announced worldwide price hikes for late June that have now hit. So for your Series S 512 gigabyte, remember when that was a nice crisp 200 during holiday season? Remember those times? Yeah, that'll be £429, please, in the UK, or 500 euros for your 512 gigabyte underpowered Series S. I love little man, but look, not for that money. That is against his reason to exist. Series X 1 terabyte digital option, £619 or 750 euros. The 1 terabyte disc option for the Series X, £669 or 800 euros. And again, keep in mind, Asha Sharma did say that they expect console storage and memory prices to increase by another 2.5 times more, a doubling by next fall. So not this fall, like 2026, 2027's fall.
Yes.
This is not going to get better. This is not the last price hike. And it really defeats the point of console gaming, which is why so many people are going to PC, because the affordability of console gaming was its main draw. It was the one reason. I know, that's why I was there.
Facts.
Secondhand gaming, my disk drive, the simplicity, the ease of use, no tweaking and twerking required. But as we start to bring those prices up, and I mean, PC's going up too, but like when you're already investing 1,000 plus and you really love games, you might think to yourself genuinely like, I should really just start stacking my cash and going for a big PC at this point, because why wouldn't I if I'm going to spend this much on a console that's like basically fucking dying at this point, you know? So what do you make of these price hikes that we see here, Cog? I know there's not much new to be said about it, but want to give you the stage nonetheless.
Brutal. This is real time killing off of my hobby, you know, and again, all I care about is, selfishly, besides myself, I care about new user adoption. This craters that. There's no new user talking about, hey, I'm going to run out and go get an Xbox, you know what I'm saying, at these prices. And thus I get the frustration, or the, not frustration is strong word, I get whenever they are pressed about the exclusive push, right? Because remember, we all said, hey, you know, now you're doing it. We love it, right? We love it, Susan. We love that you're doing it, but it's like, this is what the climate that we're doing it under, right? So again, which leads me to believe my theory that they know they're not going to sell anywhere the amount of helixes that they would have intended to in a pre-Rampapocalypse era. Thus, I feel the current generation of consoles are going to have to be around much longer. Now, the question is, with them going up in price, when does Rampapocalypse end? Because if this is the entry point, oh boy, you know what I'm saying? Who is this for, right? Again, my term, country club gaming. And then now you got to get creative. Now you got to get, okay, we've got old consoles. We've got PC, right? And you made the other point. A lot of the revenue is going to be coming from that other entry point. Maybe that's the reason why they're not decoupling PC just yet, because they need PC's revenue. And I think we need PC. We're not ready to go all the way there yet, because we're the, you know, the stewards of Windows, but we'll keep the stickiness of who we have, that 35 million. We got to get these PC gamers over here, because this is where we're going to sell probably the majority of our stuff. And when things tail down, but yeah, this is just brutal. This is just it's laughable, because like you said, we were pitched a Series S as the entry point. That's the inexpensive entry point. And here we are in this climate. And the sad part, we're not done yet. We are not done with hikes.
So sad.
It's crazy. Yeah, watching Country Club Game and just continue to take over.
Yep, 100%, bro. Well, until then, we'll hope for better pricing. In the meanwhile, we've got more news here to get on through. A little update on Elder Scrolls Online here. A lot of people were wondering what might be happening next for them, given that their team got gutted again after layoffs, which I found to be one of the bigger surprises, because they already got cut a bunch for Project Blackbird. Here is the IGN report, where they cover a new blog post from game director Nick Giacomini, saying that Elder Scrolls Online will continue and isn't on the verge of being shut down. Quote, recently, we've been through a number of organizational changes and departures of teammates who helped shape ESO. We are profoundly grateful for everything they've contributed to the game and the community we built. At the same time, we've seen a lot of questions about what these changes mean for ESO. So let me be clear. ESO is here to stay, and our team is dedicated to the future of this game. Our focus hasn't changed. It is continuing to grow the Elder Scrolls Online and build upon the world millions of players call home. Giacomini also outlined the team's plans to support the game going forward. He reaffirmed the recent news that ZeniMax Online Studios will be collaborating with Bethesda Game Studios on the future of Elder Scrolls, and stated that will give the team new opportunities to share ideas and create better experiences for players, which is a new little wrinkle there. Unfortunately, the team is also delaying some content due to the recent restructuring at all Xbox-owned studios. The team had to delay content in order to make sure it meets the level of quality that everyone can be satisfied with. So the new Crimson Belt trial, class, and combat refreshes and Update 52 are being pushed back to 2027. Instead of rushing to hit previously announced deadlines, we're giving our team the runway they need to do things right. Some of our upcoming additions, like the class and combat refresh and new trial, are highly complex. We want to ensure they hit a mark before we put them into our hands. Now, there is still content coming to Elder Scrolls Online in 2026. New quests, new stories, new events are all on the way, in addition to a new rumor system and quality of life upgrades. And these pieces will roll out across September and October as part of seasons 1 and 2. So just a little bit of an update there on what's going on with ESO. Cog, do you have any thoughts on what's going on for ZeniMax Online Studios?
Yeah, man, I'm happy about this. I was very worried about them. You know, we lost. They lost a lot of people, and the thought process, especially after just covering them, which I love the Thieves Guild update. I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's bring core, factions and stuff that I love about Elder Scrolls into Elder Scrolls Online. And let's be clear, Elder Scrolls Online, their history of where they've been with this franchise and the glow ups and the content, and like, it's been really cool to see. So I would like to see it continue. I love the fact that they said, look, we're not going to scrap this content. We're just going to push it down so we can give our teams more time to do it. I think they've earned the right to exist. I think there's still a lot of potential here, especially in a world where live service is very difficult to get off the ground going. And I think their I got to check their numbers. I have to see how they're doing in the short term and see as far as the Steam counts and stuff. But I just like the fact that they get a chance. I feel that is a solid. I played it. I was like, nah, it's solid. It's good. It wasn't like, no disrespect, like the 76 situation. It took a longer time, for them to get to where they need to go. But Elder Scrolls Online needs to exist. And I like the fact that the content is being delayed versus scrapped and more people lay off. And look, live service is one of them ones it's hard. It's hard, man. Like, they've got stuff in the tuck that they could do. And I like the fact that they still got these updates. So that's where I'm at with it.
100%. Yeah. I mean, this is just them, I think, adjusting to their new reality. And obviously, I think to get the ball rolling, they're probably dedicating a lot more of their staff as it currently stands to Elder Scrolls 6 to, help that, because I think that needs to come out sooner rather than later. So I think ESO is able to kind of, with the content they have, just let that drift on by. I think it's the same deal with 76. I think 76 is taking a bit of a lapse this year to kind of gear up for next year for another big bounce for, with the prequel story. So it's interesting to see how Bethesda and Xbox are really maneuvering their long existing live projects, because I think they've long been, not in the case of ZeniMax Online Studios, specifically Fallout, like barriers to what I think fans have wanted.
Right.
And how they're trying to maybe offset that at first.
Right.
So they're willing to delay content like this, which is pretty crazy, all things considered. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the new ESO content. Definitely what they have brought out recently has made fans the happiest they've been in a while. And that was already a pretty happy community, all things considered. So we shall see what happens next. But speaking of Bethesda, Cog, here's an interesting remaster rumor. Someone caught this on Twitter by the name of Anonimo Games. And they wrote that Wolfenstein 2009 is likely getting a remaster shadow drop at this year's QuakeCon, as it had its original release date removed, and now it's being listed as Steam Deck verified. And this is the game that's delisted on all current digital storefronts. So for those who don't remember, this was the Wolfenstein game in 2009 that was made by Raven Software and id. And it was published by Activision, actually. Hang on.
Oh,
there it is. We got it right here.
Oh, dang. That boy ready.
Yeah, this is like a supernatural Wolfenstein.
Talk to me.
And out of all of those soft remasters that Bethesda has kind of done, like they've done Doom a bunch of times. They did like Quake, I think. This right here. This is the game that actually got me into trophy hunting a little bit. I never got the platinum for it, but I remember playing this on my PS3. And just like there was a trophy for like, I think killing 3 enemies at once with a grenade. And I remember doing that and then trophy popped and I was like, oh. It was like that little ding changed my whole life.
There we go.
This is a very different Wolfenstein, though. Very different from like old Wolfenstein, but very different as well from like the BJ Blazkowicz, very heavy, serious driven, story driven ones. This is what they would define. Actually, the back of the box says it here.
What does it say?
Dark fantasy. Very, very mystical, magical, very different Wolfenstein.
Okay.
It also had multiplayer that I wonder if they're going to bring back here. That was also quite fun. That era of all these games that had to ship with their own like team deathmatch mode, so you get like, TDM and Dead Space 2 and BioShock 2. we're getting to the age now where there are generations of gamers who are not going to know what the hell we're talking about with that. And dude, it was such a cool time. Did you embrace that era? I loved the era of just the forced multiplayer. I thought we got some really good stuff in that.
Yeah, I listen, I'm from the era. Remember when like Splinter Cell had like spies versus mercs?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like I'm from that era where, the teams like, were creative. Yeah, they were probably mandated and complained while they were doing it.
Sure,
right?
For sure.
But I'm from that era. I'm from the era of when, bro, Transformers they had multiplayer in Transformers War for Cybertron, Fall for Cybertron. Like, create your own Autobot and Decepticon. I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm about all of this when it comes to the fandom. Obviously, the development lift was tough. But yeah, our era, we come from, there will be a multiplayer component to your game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And some of these studios really got creative and made some fun modes, man. So, yeah.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was such a fun time. So I really do miss those days.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do we got next on the docket here, Cog? We've got... Oh, okay. Yeah. Sony. Let's have a chat, shall we? All right. So after everyone said there would not be a response by PlayStation to the fans... They were correct, but the investors had our back. They asked the questions, and Sony wanted to answer them instead. I mean, allow me to just get ahead of myself a little bit here and say that can we really take a moment to appreciate this? They didn't answer you. They answered their shareholders, dude. We bitched and moaned for a month straight, and they respect you so little. They think you are such a lock for money. They don't fucking care about you so much. They answer the shareholders, because guess who's the real customer? That's right. And that's the thing. People see these memes that say for the shareholders, right? They used to say for the players. And it's like, I saw that. I was like, okay. Like, I rolled my eyes a little bit with that. I'm like, I don't need like everyone with their fucking like signposts outside. Yeah, for sure. Like, what are we doing? But that I was like, well, that's accurate now. Look what you did. Because your fans, you could not bother to give them a response, but shareholders, we got a response here. So, Cog, I'll read it. I'd love for you to lead this one off, because everyone knows where I stand on this. They know I'm going to say, this is bullshit. This sucks, blah, 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 blah. I'd love for when I read this off, you take it over.
Sure,
how do you feel, Lord Digital?
Sure.
All right. Speaking during an investor-focused Q&A, writes IGN, following its first quarter financial results, Sony CFO Lin Tao answered multiple questions about the company's decision to kill discs, which has sparked a backlash online. Tao was asked if Sony saw any impact now or in the future, which we'll see PlayStation disc production go at the end of 2028, come to an end in 2028. Quote, we are not seeing any impact on our business as of now, end quote. Going forward about the content sales, large part is already digitized. Therefore, as a result, the discontinuation of a disc, we don't see that there will be any negative impact on our business. However, as I already said, the users, the players have attachments, and we have to think about how to respond to this feedback. This is also on top of a quote from Lin Tao, where she had said that they're very carefully considering how they're marching forward with this. I'll get the exact quote here, because I don't know how IGN does not have the full quote here. Hold on. Carefully considering Sony. Professional podcasting here. I thought this was in the... here we go.
It's what we do.
We're going to go to noob feed here. The company spent a long time carefully considering the decision and thinks that the growing digitization of entertainment was the biggest factor in coming to that conclusion. Like, this is what they keep saying. Like, they've continued to go in on this idea of like careful consideration. They're being careful with it. And that they continue to explain, like, we understand people's attachment to it, but this is where the world is trending and we're just following that. So with all these quotes in mind, Cog, from Lin Tao, the response is here. It's official. PlayStation says no impact on our business, which we won't be able to see until like October when the Q2 results are in, but no impact on the business, and that they carefully consider this. And look, maybe there's a way to massage those attachments, likely, an external disk drive, but ultimately no budging as expected. So with all this, what's the move? What's the feeling? What's the play? How are we feeling about Sony and how they spoke to their investors?
It's pretty cold. I think you come to that point in life where you realize, like, this goes for pretty much all corporations, that it's always going to come down to the bottom line, right? And what you realize is they're not speaking to you. You are not worthy to be spoken to, is how I ticket. And I just feel it's disrespectful. This is a company who people put a lot of their faith and trust into physical media, and they won a generation because of it. They legit won a whole generation based on that level of trust. People felt they would be safe there. And we get the data points. No one's saying that it's not trending towards this. They're not wrong to the letter of the law of where the industry is trending. But your cold-hearted nature. First of all, you put out an internal blackout. This is coming out now. Like, yo, you bet if you work for us, you better not say nothing on this. Yeah. Like, people have been silenced. The memos are coming out. Like, yo, we can't even deal from up top. So all this, we think about how to respond. Let's keep it a buck. You muzzled everyone because you're going to speak to the stakeholders, your shareholders. You're going to speak to them. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to let them know what they're going to do. Again, my only issue with them, and again, this comes back to transparency, is that you have the right to go where you're going to go. Tell people who are on PS5, what are they going to do with their discs when eventually PS6 happens? Tell people who say, hey, man, I love the PS3. I love the Vita. Can you ensure that my PS4 games are going to be coming? Like, I know this sounds common sense, but the way you're moving doesn't give us any trust, because at any moment, not only are you not going to talk to us, at any moment, you could take a storefront away in the future that you're promoting. See, that's the problem that people, have to get a hold of. That's the real switcheroo, 3-card Monty here. Yeah, you took this away, but you took the law front. Like, you're not hustling me, bro. I see what you're doing. And the thing why it feels disgusting, because this is where competition does matter. And people who don't like Xbox should be rooting for Xbox on this one front only. I see this version of Sony. Last time I saw this version was PS3.
Oh, my favorite.
Feeling yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you know what it is? It's like, we're going to be consumer friendly until we know we got you. And now the mask is off. We got you. You're not going to, we saw your boycott finish. We saw you with GTA. You know what I mean? You pre-ordered. Now it's time to let you know. That's what it feels like. I'm just being honest with the sentiment. So people could say what they want, but the reality is it doesn't feel good if you've invested hundreds of dollars into this ecosystem. All people are asking is for answers and an option. I think you could give them that and just say, hey, we plan on doing an external disk drive at one point. Hey, just let you know, even though we made this thing PS4, PS5 games, you still have the ability with external option to bring. We're going to have also a form of a disc to digital form. Don't worry. We understand the concern, like something that give the base absolutely nothing. It comes off as cold. It comes off as all we care about is profit, and shut up, and you're going to like the games, and then you ain't going to do nothing. That's what it's like. You talking, you ain't going to do nothing. We don't believe you. And you got nowhere to go. That's why it feels the way it does. And it's unfortunate, man. It really is. I feel, really upset, for the physical bros. And I'm really, really upset the fact that, options in a statement haven't been done. But yeah, man, it was, wow. It was a pretty cold statement to me. So I was just like,
yeah, okay, just the lack of anything.
Yeah.
I was really like, okay, all right. I mean, I'm not stunned. It's just really like, in the scheme of what you're talking about, right? Like, like we never really mattered. That. It's the bottom line. But I think Colin put it best in our conversation. He's like, something's wrong. He just said something's
give me some Cobra
very off about this generation of PlayStation.
Yeah.
And the problem is a lot of that conversation is being suppressed in the social spaces because of fanboyism. It's like, it is not a threat to you to say that this company can be better. If you love them, prepare to love them more is what I try to tell fanboys. I'm like, I get the love for PlayStation. I love PlayStation, but this is not them at their best.
Right.
When they're working against you actively, publicly, and without any sort of shame because they think they got you that bad, and you eat that up.
I know.
And you're like, it's all good. It's good, man.
Yeah.
Again, people have to put their money where their mouth is. Get strategic with how they spend money on PlayStation, because I got to throw this out here. A lot of people misinterpret saying strategically spend your money on PlayStation as boycott them. I've always said to people, I'm like, you don't have to boycott them, but do you want to play Wolverine? Maybe you buy from a secondhand store instead for the meantime. Own what you can in the meantime. But a lot of people are like, oh, you saw Spider-Man? Way to keep the boycott. I'm like, are you fucking stupid, dude? Like, this is not compatible at all. Nonetheless, though, when it comes to the PlayStation business, which generates most of their revenue, yeah, dude, like, I think it's a good time to strategically spend. You can still use your PlayStation, but you could go through the digital store, or you can go to secondhand stuff and play that way.
Right.
Do you have to be subscribed to PS Plus every month or select months? That type of strategic spending, like I did with Xbox.
I remember you stood on business. You did.
Yeah, like I stopped spending there. I took out my Game Pass subscription. They got no money from me for months. Like,
yeah, you stood on business. I'll never forget. Yeah, I mean, look, it's my favorite PlayStation generation is PlayStation 1 by far. And it just represented a very hungry, aggressive Sony trying to fight its way into the industry. When Nintendo shunned them, did them dirty, they came outside, they had Crash out front the building, you know what I'm saying? The megaphone, God, like I love, like you had the diversity of the titles. You had a Jumping Flash, you had a Tekken, you had a you had all these cool things, and to see where they came from, it was so cool. And then even with PS4, like I was like, wow, the commitment to indies, really doing this cool stuff. And then obviously they became the hashtag just one, these amazing narrative experiences where it just was like movie quality stuff. You're like, God damn, I'm like, Xbox, you need one of those, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just, like, I don't want to be disrespectful to their contributions, because I'm a big fan of that. I'm a huge fan of Vita, huge fan of PSP. That legacy, going away, just crushed me. So they have an opportunity to try to win back what I could consider what Colin's saying is like, there's something internal that has switched, and it's very scary to see. And I get the financial climate. I get it. I'm not going to sit there and say that's not a real thing, but you don't have to move this way. You don't have to move in this. This base loves you, bro. Like, they love you. And again, if from an Xbox perspective, if you're Asha Sharma, you better be taking notes. You better be looking at every fault that PlayStation is doing from a mishandling, and you better try to capitalize. And I had a conversation. I was speaking with the Duke. Ryan McCaffrey. We had this discussion. Just recently. We just did a recording. And, it's coming out soon. And it was one of these things. He was just like, this is your time. Like, you may never get this lick back. You know what I'm talking about as far as you may never get it fully.
Yeah, dude. It's just,
but you've got a way to capitalize on the trappings and the pitfalls, the missteps of the way PlayStation is moving. And again, you're going to need W's by 1,000 cuts. Because no one singular thing is going to make you catch up to PlayStation. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? But you better be taking notes. And that's going to be key to me to see how Xbox continues with these kind of things. But yeah, this was a rough day. This is a rough day to see them kind of move that way. I didn't like the way it felt.
I agree. I'm a broken record with it, so I'll leave it there, because you said everything I've had to say on that. So
fair enough.
Yeah, they're just, again, I tell people, own what you can while you can until they maybe decide to make a change. And if you can support secondhand stores, you should.
Yeah.
You don't have to full boycott. You don't have to completely change your spending and playing habits. Like, that's never what I've advocated for, but you should advocate for better digital ownership, because when that does, rubber meet the road moment, we don't want to figure it out while we're there. This should be all ironed out.
Exactly. We should know what to expect. And last point, this is the time to really show out before the digital thing happens on PlayStation. The Wolverines, bro. The physical show them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. With your thing. That's another way you could do it. You know what I'm saying? And you could, there's ways about it. So absolutely. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Now, many of us have gone by the way of PC, and Valve has given us ways to get involved, such as a Steam machine. It's been a little tricky this year, though, because of RAM prices, right? Our favorite. For those who were interested, though, Valve did post in their blog that anyone currently on the reservation list email will be able to buy a Steam machine by the end of the year. So if you did sign up and you still want one, just keep that in mind. I want to just let everyone know that because I'm still eyeing one. It's way too expensive, so it's got to be kind of like a perfect moment for me. But I am eyeing it with the idea of like where everyone else is at right now. Well, if this is going on for another couple more years, do I want to pay more than what I'm looking at right now? How useful is this for me? And I have a lot of use cases for a Steam machine personally, and I know my wife especially does. She loves Steam. So
nice.
It's like, all right, let me look into this. But it's good to know that if I have the money and I'm able to purchase one later this year, that I will be considered by Lord Gabe. So any thoughts on this, Cock? I just want to update our audience on it.
No, salute. Obviously, the reservations, obviously, people that, wanted to still get their hands on it, it's there. And you made a great point. If you are interested in this device, you better get now, because as we saw with Xbox's recent price increases, don't expect that price to remain where it's at.
Yeah, 100%. All right, last little bit of news before we get into what games we're playing this week. EA has completed the private buyout, and therefore they're owned by Saudi Arabia's PIF. And with that, it was a $55 billion buyout. There's millions and millions of dollars of debt to clear out. And so now that this has been finalized, inside reports are starting to come out that the layoffs are expected to be pretty massive for EA. Studio closures, selling off of IP, that sort of stuff. And my mind immediately goes to BioWare, dude. I mean, I got to wonder about them. Like, they're probably looking at cutting costs on all their sports games because that's probably their biggest spend, and seeing how they can make more with less. But to eliminate that debt, I also wonder if they're like, someone else could buy Mass Effect from us and hold on to this team for us that is now Skeleton Crew. And we'll let them take the gamble. But they're the first team that came to mind. I think they're going to, I don't know if they're going to put Dead Space in a vault, but I could see that being sold off as an IP. This is going to be a lot of change. According to Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, EA has told debt investors it will cut $700 million in annual costs, including $170 million in organizational efficiencies, which Schreier interprets as mass layoffs. So it's on the way. I just want people to be aware because I think there's going to be a lot of change at EA. I don't see how you make this kind of deal. Xbox has taught us. You don't make this kind of deal and nothing changes, right? So I'm expecting the worst, and I expect them to target all redundancies, things that are not efficient for their business, and to go after them full swing here. So, Cog, any thoughts on the expected mass layoffs at EA?
Yeah, they've officially gone private. And again, when I see from corporate language, when I hear organizational efficiencies, that's all I need to know. Yeah, the action's coming, and they're going to get slimmed down. And that now they're the new investor. They're going to be looking at them. Things are going to change for EA. And again, I'm all about the right to exist, right? But obviously, there's some stuff that comes with it, right? And now we're going to be seeing. And my fear is, yes, BioWare, to see what's going to happen with them, how long they've been in development, what that cost is. Your new owners, how much do they value that, right? These are the questions. These are the tough calls. And they're going to have massive layoffs. They're the sports stewards, but be for sure, across the org, they're going to be looking at everything. So, yeah, get ready. It's coming.
Yeah, man. So, not fun days, but
no.
If you're just hanging out and you're playing games, you're probably having a good time because it's been a really good year for games. So let's talk about that. Cog, lead us off here. I just realized a certain gaming list. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Hit us with it. What have you been playing this week?
All right, so let's get the stuff that we finally finished out the way. All right. The Alters last variable DLC is done. It is done. And mixed thoughts, bro. Just mixed thoughts. I think it's a solid DLC. It's a challenging DLC, but ultimately, and if you're a fan of the Alters, you will love the gameplay loop for the most part, minus the new forced mechanics that are trying to get you to do certain things to complete the game. But I gotta be honest with you, Maddie. Like, I was a little disappointed. Scientist is one of my favorite characters, and I didn't feel that the payoff at the end was worth it. And I did both endings, and I struggle philosophically with, because I love this character, and I feel this character would not have signed off on his own endings. I just got to come at them on that, you know. So 11-bit, I love you. I like that you gave us tons of content. The reason why I know for a fact it didn't hit for me, I did my second playthrough of base game to get out to work on the original achievements. There's so much heart and care and more social interactions and more and better I felt the narrative was a little bit. They got too caught up with scientific jargon, and they lost a little bit of the heart. So, is the last variable a bad DLC? No, it's just that the base game is far superior in my opinion. So that's where I'm at with it. But Alters is and it's a lot. Oh my God, a lot of hours. Jesus, it was like 25, 30.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you spent a lot of time with this.
Oh my God. Yes, I was shocked, like, damn, I'm still playing. Like, this is still going in order to get these last couple of things done to advance the story. But that's that. Second up, I've been in my second playthrough, card. That's what I've been.
Yeah, you've been on a little bit of a replay bag here.
Yeah, like, you know how it is when the nostalgia be hitting you. So we came.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can see the games I'm playing this week. So.
Oh yeah, I see your list. So it's like, you know, I came off that Gears, and I'm like, man, I got the itch. Do I go back to 5.4, get a refresher? And I'm like, nah, Cog, you know what your heart wants. You know what game. Don't be embarrassed, Cog. You know what game you played when everybody was complaining at the Series X and S launch. There was one game you would play, you were living your best life. And that was Gears Tactics, baby. Gears Tactics. I will die on this hill. One of the better new entries in turn-based. First of all, talk about changing the game in turn-based. This is one of those. Like, listen, Expedition is Expedition. We got I get it with the JRPGs in that form of turn-based. I'm talking about true tactics. I'm talking about, here's the key though, Matty. I'm talking about high production values with a narrative, right? Yes, Splash Damage did that. This is a dope Gears prequel story, Pendulum Wars, all that stuff. This is all of that. An amazing new protagonist with Gabe Diaz and a cool crew that he's with. Archon, the villain, is okay. I wouldn't say he's like, you know, top Gears villain, but he's decent. And what I liked about this game from a mechanic standpoint, this is one of the more innovative new mechanics I've ever seen in a turn-based game, where you are overwhelming odds. There are too many of them on this map, but you've got all the gear sensibilities. You've got, here's the key though, when you kill and you execute, you get another turn for each member of the team, another action point, right? This part of the game transforms turn-based forever because it incentivizes chaining kills and getting kills, right? To continue to now change the tide against this overwhelming. I mean, where there's way more of them. You've got your Overwatch. You've got your hit percentages. You get the classic boom weapons. You kill boomers, they drop boom shots. You can pick them up. Yeah. You got your classes. You got your sniper. You go stealth with the kind of shotgun class. You've got narrative. Get to find out who's
story.
Someone's. I ain't gonna spoil. You get to find out so many cool things about Gears characters and who preceded them and their role on it. And the only negative on this game, goddamn mandatory side missions. That's the only thing. So in order to advance from Act 1 through Act 5, you got your main act, and then they'll give you like 4 side missions, right? And they'll be like, okay, you got to do at least 2 of them. Some of these are hard. Now, they usually form the same thing. Some of them escape from this. Some of it is defend that, you know what I mean, kind of thing. They get a little tropey with the side missions. So that is, I will say, that is a demerit. That's the only demerit on this game. is the side missions are mandatory to then when you hit, okay, I did my homework. I did 2 of the 4 that you required. And some of them have some wild modifiers though. They be like, yo, this person can't kill. Or you got to bring snipers on the mission. But here's the thing, Matty. Before E-Day, see, y'all getting all excited. E-Day, let me customize the weapon. Biz Tactics been doing that. We got build crafted. We got customers. You could ice your gear out. I am telling y'all, if you missed out, because you sit there like Series X and S had nothing to look. No, real ones was playing Gears Tactics, and we was living our best life. Go download Gears Tactics, Splash Damage. They did that. And here's the thing. For those who've been away, let's say you play Gears Tactics. I got you. You didn't try jacked mode. They added, remember from Gears 5, how they got Jack as the invisible? So you could play harder enemies, different mission, different modifiers, but now you got Jack as an extra squad member. He could go invisible. He could buff the team. He could throw things out. Like, bro, but you got to remember every turn, make sure you turn him back invisibly, because if you leave him out in the open, he will get murdered. So make sure you protect Jack. Telling y'all, now's the time. Quench that thirst. And you know you waiting for E-Day. It's a challenging game, but it's one of the best. I would challenge, this is even better than, I know Halo fans don't come for me. I love Halo Wars too. If it wasn't for you, you gave me Atriox. I love you. But Gears Tactics, this is the best spinoff. This is the best Coalition Splash Damage. They did that. So Gears Tactics, go get that. I'm playing my second. I'm playing on Jack. I've never beat the game on the Jack playthrough. So that's what I'm doing that. And I got to come for you, Xbox, though. For Rogue Ally, bro, this game has no online component. Why, if I'm on a plane, you forcing me to log into my Log Cognito account just to get past the title screen? I should not have to have internet access just to start the game. So fix that so that this is a true offline game, lords of digital ownership, making my physical games work. Like, bro, fix that. Like, there should be no excuse. And I've complained to the right people, and I put this in reports, but I'm going to still signal boosters. Gears Tactics need to be fully offline without an online sign-in requirement. Stop that. I tried multiple versions. I even bought the Steve version. Maybe they had an offline mode just for that. Nope. Same thing. So that's it. And then the last thing, I want to shout out my brother, Ruck, because I didn't even realize. I told people, everybody, my Switch bros were on me like, bro, you got to play Dispatch. You got to play Dispatch. Everybody's got to play this. I'm like, well, okay, now that I hear it's coming to Xbox. Oh, wait, I didn't even know it dropped. I somehow didn't get the memo. This was, it's an Xbox Play anyway. So I started it. I started only the chapter in. Bro.
Delivered.
This goes hard. You know what it reminds me? What you anime bros call it?
How you gonna call us that?
Yeah. What's them dudes? Studio Trigger. Y'all got this thing where y'all love certain studios for their animation.
Sure.
Bro, I don't know who designed this. I've got the studio there, Ad Hoc, whoever they are. These dudes look like they've done anime for real. Like, I don't get, like, it is the quality of this production and style. It feels like Invincibles had a baby with one of the top animation studios. Then you got your choice and consequences. We're in the Telltale bag, but guess what it got the nerve to have? Yeah, I'm glad y'all recommended this for me. Y'all know how I love This Is the Police, right? Bro, this is the police. Dispatch is This Is the Police plus Telltale.
This is so you that I didn't even think of that.
I said, oh my God, I'm dispatching heroes to do certain jobs. And then I got to see who's the right person for the job. And then they got all, I was like, okay, I didn't know. I thought this was just going to be some Telltale, choose your own adventure. That's it. Oh no, we got an extra component here. And then when you go to the mission, like This Is the Police, sometimes there's different subsets of, okay, you better, what do you do here? This has broken out. I'm like, okay. So and it also satiates, because y'all dudes that love, what's the joint that everybody like? The Boys. It got a little bit of the Boys vibe. Yeah, man. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Chapter in.
Okay.
And one thing I love what games do, they got this from As Dusk Falls, which is another sleeper hit cult classic for me. I love when games that have choice and consequence say the percentages of people who did what and where you fall in it, right? Like where the path, the branches, go. I love that kind of stuff. And yeah, they got their little QTE. I left the interactivity on because I wanted to be more involved with it. And yeah, so far so good, man. So Dispatch is on the list, and I'm finally getting into it. It's an Xbox Play Anywhere. I'll get a chance to play it on the play. So beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, that's my list right now. What I've been playing.
Nice. Good lineup here. I too have been making some trips back to the past. Some new, some old, some diabolical. I'll go with what you kind of did, where you talked about what you finished first. I finished Desktop Explorer. Nice little indie game here that's about exploring a inherited computer from your uncle. And I will say that the way the game evolves in a 3-dimensionality, once you start opening a certain application, makes it really interesting.
Okay.
Because the narrative is already a good hook. Just kind of trying to figure out, like, what is this Desktop Explorer program doing? What's it trying to do? And after finishing it, I'll say that the story, I think, resolves itself quite nicely. There were some nitpicks I had. I wish I had like a stronger emotional takeaway, but I do really love just the era that it spoke to and how it captured that so well, and all the things the story didn't say. I think that's my only problem with the ending, is that the story does so well for most of it, not really saying a whole lot and letting you draw your own conclusions based on context clues and kind of forming said conclusion off of all those. And well, that there's still a decent bit of that. The story kind of explains itself by the end in a way where I'm like, oh, like I was coming to that conclusion via everything happening. We didn't need to have to kind of sit down with that. Okay. So all in all, great game though. Still, I would say within top 10 this year for me personally.
Okay.
But a really great indie game, and do recommend it. I think the story lands on its feet pretty well, and it definitely deserves its overwhelmingly positive reviews. And so I thought it was a fun time. Puzzle difficulty, just to catch people up on that. I did fold a little bit more by the ending of the game, but this is what happens to me when it comes to these story-driven games with puzzles. Is like sometimes I'm going to be real. Sometimes I just don't I want to get to that next beat.
Yep.
Sometimes I do. So I went from like, it took me about, actually, I'll get you guys the exact hours on Steam here. I did have some idle time, but on Steam here, it said 11.4 hours. I'd say for about 8 of those, I was like patiently doing all the puzzles, only looking it up when I was like truly like, okay, I don't know, which happened twice. By the end, I looked up another few just because, again, there were points where I was like, I want to get to that next beat. And I will say the final suite of puzzles I did by myself, excellent. Very, very good. So keep in mind that this is coming from someone who's not a big puzzle guy. So if you are into puzzles in games, I think you'll love Desktop Explorer. Good story, great music, really memorable visuals, unique way to interact with the game on PC. So definitely check it out. Sub $20 game. And definitely, again, deserves the high praise it got. So I really like this one. We were talking about Spider-Man earlier. And so as one does on Retro Rebound, we like to synchronize the big moments in pop culture with like our retrospective stuff. So I was like, hey, I'm going to rank all the Spider-Man games because I've done so many individual retrospectives on Spider-Man. I was thinking, okay, not really many I haven't played yet. So what I focused on this year was I wanted to re-up my opinion on Spider-Man 2 because I felt a little bit like a ton has shifted from my initial review. I wanted to solidify that. And then I ranked all the Spider-Man games. And in ranking them all, I put one game at the dead bottom alongside Amazing Spider-Man 2, which Amazing Spider-Man 2 specifically is one of the worst games I have ever played. That game was Spider-Man Edge of Time, and the Retro Rebound comment section, which has always been such a generous place and continues to be, might I add, did have my ass in a handbasket. They were like, how dare you rank Edge of Time that low? The writing, the story, how could you? Now, I've played and beat this game twice, but you know what? Maybe I got to be a little bit more secure in myself, but like Edge of Time was a game I was like so sure of myself. I was like, wait, I was like, you guys like the writing, the story? You're like, it should be a higher tier because of that. I'm like, dude, I remember playing this in high school. I was actually going through a breakup at the time. And I was like, I'm just adding misery to my life with this game, dude. Like, like I distinctly remember just going through, I was on Xbox Live Chat, told to a friend, I was like, this fucking sucks, bro. And I'm playing this fucking piece of shit. Like, are you kidding me? So I came back to it in 2023. I played it. I was like, yeah. And then so that solidified the ranking. So many people were like up in arms about it. Now let me bring everyone back in time to Spider-Man Edge of Time, because then I did a third full playthrough of this game.
Okay.
Let's remember the zeitgeist of Edge of Time. Batman was trending one way, AAA, Arkham games, the peak of Rocksteady. This is an incredible era. And everyone was looking at the face of DC get his due and wondering, will the face of Marvel get his due? Why can't Spider-Man swing a nice budget? You start to see like, oh, they're under Activision's thumb, and Activision likes these annual titles, and we can't really do these two at the same time. But at the same point, Spider-Man's a bit linear still. Even excellent Spider-Man games like Shattered Dimensions, linear style experience. And so the same time that we're getting Arkham City, here comes Spider-Man Edge of Time. Now, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions has 4 Spider-Man you can play as. Edge of Time has 2. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions has like a full progression system. Edge of Time waters that down. Shattered Dimensions has a whole unique combat system, mostly beat 'em up, but like it's got little wrinkles per the Spider-Man you play as, including stealth gameplay. Edge of Time has none of that. You see where I'm going with this?
I see where you're going.
It was a game that by perception between these two things, it was like, what the hell are y'all doing? And then 1 year later, we got Amazing Spider-Man 1, which I do think is one of the best Spider-Man games. I love that game. It was open world, free flow combat, stealth gameplay. Like you could feel, oh, this is the closest we've ever got. It was not an Arkham style game by any means, but definitely it felt like, okay, we just got Spider-Man 2-ish for the next gen consoles, right? At that time, all we had was the Raimi Spider-Man 2 on PS2, Xbox. We're like, huge gap in time between that and now. So it felt like a good return to form. But Edge of Time, right? Everyone's talking about the writing, the story, right? For those who have not played Edge of Time, I don't give a fuck about Spider-Man games as much as I do. Edge of Time is a story about Amazing Spider-Man 1 timeline, Spider-Man 2099 the other.
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't have the cover art next to me, but you should look it up. It is some of the most raw cover art that you can see in a game. And the idea is that Amazing Spider-Man has died to anti-venom in one timeline. And this coincided with the CEO of Alchemax in 2099's timeline going back in time, establishing their company way earlier. And because of that, with all the technical know-how they had, they were so much more advanced than everyone. So they grew rapidly. They took over every industry. It's a really cool premise. And with all that, again, at the center of it, Spider-Man dies. So the title menu, literally the game starts and Spider-Man 2099 is carrying Amazing Spider-Man's dead body. It's like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, this is crazy.
Sounded kind of dope, though.
Yeah.
It's not hurting your argument a little bit.
No, not at all. The story, when it's going, is actually the best part of this game. It is relatively well written. You know, the way that Amazing Spider-Man 2099 kind of quip back and forth at each other. Very fun, spirited video game. But oh boy, this game does not play, dude. It does not play in 2026. It's not from a like, oh, we don't need these types of games anymore. It's like the combat balancing, like the amount of enemies in a room at any given time and no ability to target them individually, which was something that Shattered Dimensions had, but we removed in this game. There are special enemy types that have like shields that you need to do specific attacks to break their shields, but you can't target them in a sea of like 18 enemies. So you just get bounced around a bunch. There's things like that. Shattered Dimensions, right? Brings you to all these different comic book locations. You get to go through Grand Central Terminal. You get to fight Kraven in the jungle. You fight Sandman through a construction site, and the list goes on. Just the Rogues Gallery is here. It's a comic book ass video game. But this whole game is set in the Alchemax building, and I mean literally. Like, it is all just a corporate building from top to bottom, which can be interesting if engaged with in a way that I think presents some changes. But like, it's really just you're either web swinging and fighting through corporate room number 40, or the time period slightly changes and like, so the wall texture changes a little bit. But dude, this game is running on like fumes when it comes to assets. Like, they had no budget for anything, because I think they were putting it all into Amazing Spider-Man, which ends up being a good call. But this game, when its story isn't cooking, when its story is cooking, is fine.
Right.
It's fine. Because the combat's awful, the pacing's awful. There's moments, this game loves wall crawling. You just be wall crawling for a long while, long stretches. Like, you don't have to wait long to figure out what I'm talking about. If y'all want to fire it up, play the opening 5 minutes. a really great premise. You're like, oh shit, he's dead. And then you start wall crawling through credits. So many credits. 5 minutes of credits. It's unbelievable. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Cool little fun fact. Main villain of this game, voiced by Val Kilmer.
Oh,
may he rest in peace. I love Val Kilmer. Yeah. And like, I was like, damn. Mm-hmm. So this game had these pieces where you look at that cover art and you look at the story, you see that main menu, you see a little bit of that writing. It's a game that I get why people want to love. I do too. Mm-hmm. But it's just not a good game, dude. Mm. Not a good Spider-Man game. Mm-hmm. So I played and beat that over the weekend because it's like a quick 5-hour whatever. And I was like, yeah, I just want to play something Spider-Man related. This is kind of on the brain.
Of course.
Why not? Okay. So we went through that.
Nice.
And with that all taken care of, actually, wait, I have to answer this question. This is from Eleazar, who wrote in, hello, Dukes. Mainly a question for Maddie. I just finished watching your Spider-Man ranking video. Great video. I mostly agree with it. I liked Edge of Time more than you, but I did play that before Shattered Dimensions, and that is a factor. But anyways, the question, which games could we most realistically see being ported / remastered? PlayStation basically owns the right to Spider-Man, and most of the old games were made by Activision, now owned by Xbox. What can we do to get the great games with updated graphics and controls? Well, I think a lot of this will come down to Marvel. I don't know how much. I mean, Sony would play a factor for sure, but I think Marvel and Disney would be most motivated to get this going here. Mm-hmm. And I imagine because these would be ported to PlayStation as well, that if we're talking remasters, I don't think it would just be Xbox. I don't think if they did like a Shattered Dimensions or Edge of Time remaster, that these would be games that just show up on like one platform. Mm-hmm. I think the chances are getting more likely, though I'm interested in seeing here. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit on one of my talking points about our big news bite here, which is about like Xbox's game preservation program with back compat and how it's opt-in. We're going to learn really quickly who wants you just to be able to access their games and who wants to say, I think of EA a bit, where like what game was left out of Xbox's FPS boost program? Dead Space 1. And what game did they end up remaking? Dead Space 1. And I know it's like a little galaxy brain, but it's the little things that make it where it's like, oh, I'll just wait for the remaster then, or the remake then, right? So we'll see. Because I wonder if like there's a level of Activision being like, yeah, we could support back compat. We could relist these games, but I don't know, man. What if we did a Spider-Man modern collection and then a Raimi collection? We sold all of these annually. Each year we got new collections of Spider-Man games, and this is now we're taking, instead of $20 a pop, we're taking 50, 60.
Sounds like corporate cock.
And we add a little bit of extra. We update the textures.
Yep.
FPS boost maybe. Ship it. I mean, or better yet, I'm seeing them rub their hands. We do 1 by 1.
Oh,
just Spider-Man
100%.
1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, then a collection. I mean, that's what we'll learn real quickly here. I do think there's a good chance that these games come back, just because there's been so much smoke around these Activision licensed games getting relisted by accident. Here's the Transformers games. Here's TMNT Out of the Shadows randomly getting relisted. I'm like, this button doesn't get flipped that many times by accident under the same publisher. Something's been happening for years. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll come back. In what way, I don't know.
Okay.
So thank you for your writing, Elizar. And then the last thing I'm playing that I only got early thoughts on, Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh,
yes. So before I dive into my thoughts, the reason I am playing this now, because I know people are like, this month we got the collection coming out.
Yeah.
This is a total content play, just to be clear with everyone.
Respect.
We're going to Gamescom.
Nice.
So for me, last year we had a really good time. Like our editor for Retro Rebound, Josh, is a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. I love Metal Gear Solid. So it's like, we were really excited last year when like the remake came out for Delta, and we did a video for that. We did a video for MGS1, which I played for the first time. And then we did one for like a comparison between modern MGS games, which were Phantom Pain and MGS3 Delta, and kind of just looking at them side by side. And those all did really well. And it kind of prompted us like, okay, people really want to see someone new experience this stuff. So I went through and I did MGS2, MGS3, and I wanted to do something for MGS4 already this year. I talked to Josh about it. And then lo and behold, they announced this collection. I was like, okay, well, we'll just play this and make a video kind of talking about my experience there, because this is the one I've been really waiting for. So I wanted to drop this around the time that the game was launching, so then I could then focus on doing a review on the quality of the collection, because I felt it would kind of be this weird conversation where people would expect me to address, like, what about the collection here? And then also, like, what about the pros and cons of that versus the original? I'm like, I don't really have that experience. So I'd rather do them separately and talk about Peace Walker in a separate video later. So that's how I was thinking about things. So it was a content play mostly. Right. But MGS4 is a game that I played a little bit of when they added trophies to it, and then ended up stopping because my file corrupted on it.
Ooh.
Which, yeah, that hurt. That hurt.
Suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's okay. I think it was for the better because, dude, going to this game now. In 2026, where I got all this information, bro. Oh my God. Like, okay, so first and foremost, let me go through my favorite games in the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I go back and forth between 1 and 2, but really it is 1, 2, and then 3. Like it goes in the order of release. Like I like 3 a lot, by the way. Just I think 1 and 2 I like infinitely more for their stories and messaging. They just hit me so hard in different ways. But MGS1 and its presentation style and the codec conversations and how philosophical it is, like it just, I know people meme on Kojima writing, but to me that is like his absolute best work. Just some of the shit that like Mei Ling says, that Naomi says, just fucking chef's kiss, dude. I love it. And so a lot of those characters haven't really come back. And in this game, they do. I didn't know this. Dude, when Meryl just like takes off her mask, I'm like, I literally texted my editor. I was like, dude, Meryl's in this game? Are you fucking serious? I'm like, oh, they're bringing everyone back. I see Naomi. I'm like, oh, they're bringing everyone back.
The gang's back together.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. My early takeaway, now Josh, who's like a huge Metal Gear expert, said, wait till the second half. My early takeaway is like a lot of people say, oh, this is a movie. And I've heard there are very long cutscenes here. And there are, but I've played a lot of this game too. And I've really been loving it. I'm like, this is a ton of fun, man. Like I love how open the levels are. It's very MGS3 where they have like different zones, but you could feel the power of the PS3. Let them do more. The seriousness of the subject matter and kind of war being an economy and how they're economizing soldiers with the ID programs and all this stuff. Like it's peak political Kojima right now. And I'm like, that's the thing. I always feel a little weird about MGS3 because I know people love it so much. I just don't have that same love others seem to. It feels like a little bit of a time capsule game in my opinion.
I agree.
But I know when I love MGS because the ending stretch, like the second half of 2, the entirety of 1, and what I'm feeling right now for 4, I'm like, oh, dude, this is some of the best shit I can play right now. So I'm really excited to keep going. I finished Act 1 last night. And so I'll keep everyone posted on how this goes. But that's what I've been playing this week, dude. MGS4 has been a really fun time. So I expect to have that done within a week or so. That's where I'm at. All right, Cog. Shall we wrap up, or do you want to professional podcaster? Do you want to just keep going?
Let's
keep
going. All right.
Let's do it. All right. Let's get into our final bit of news for the show, actually, and the biggest headline here, which is the leaked Xbox game preservation program. This comes from The Verge, who shared in their own article what's going on here. The quote is this: building on its recently announced plans to bring original Xbox games to PC, Microsoft is also planning to let developers bring their 360 games to PC as well, according to a leaked document seen by The Verge that was sent to developers recently. Xbox 360 games will be able to run on the next-gen Project Helix console, Xbox PCs, and handheld devices, the document says. Microsoft has also said that Helix will play PC games, so making these older Xbox titles available on PC helps build a broader Xbox library that can travel between devices, similar to what's already possible with Steam. Creating all of these digital licenses also helps set up for a future of consoles without disk drives. Sony has already, as we know, declared game disks dead, and Microsoft is expected to follow suit. With 360 games, developers can opt into making them back compatible, and they will have control over things like a game's price and if it's available on Game Pass. The feature is expected to have a gradual rollout between 27 and 28 across next-gen devices. Very interesting wording there, because you know what I'm thinking of? Just to pause real quick. Do you think this is a Helix-only thing? Sort of like a kind of what Nintendo Switch did with the Switch 2 and GameCube? Because it says next-gen devices, and that's not, like, we're current-gen, right? With Series X and S, so it's next-gen Helix and PCs and that sort of thing?
I mean, it could be interpreted that way, but I guess the fact that the fact that it's PC still leads me to believe that, you know, is your thought process that, you know, this would not be on like series? I would say no. They've showed consistency across the board. I think they would get tremendous smoke if it was not on.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. And if this is the priority, they should be taken care of. Yeah. So it's a good assumption to have here. Yeah. I just want to see what you thought. Mm-hmm. The full launch of original Xbox games on PC is set for October 2026, where the program was just announced to include 4 games in July. The document also includes details about a way for players to get a digital version of a game that they already own on a physical disc, which The Verge's Tom Warren reported on in July. The document says that if a player puts a Xbox One or Series game on disc into the Xbox One or Series X console with a disc drive, they'll be granted a digital license that's bound to that disc in the player's account. The license will stay with a player across Xbox devices, but if the disc changes hands, the license will transfer to the new person. That should mean that gamers can still trade and sell discs. Once the original owner of a disc does so, they can't play the digital version they got from that disc anymore. According to the document, a public beta for the disc to digital program was set for July, with general availability set for August. We understand Microsoft had originally planned to test this disc to digital program with Xbox insiders in July, but the beta was delayed, and it's unclear if the timeline of August general availability is still accurate. So, Cog, your read of this. How are we feeling about what looks to be a resurging back-compat push between Xbox games on PC, 360 games we expected to follow suit? They are, but it looks like an opportunity for not just the games we already know back-compat going to PC, but the program expanding, including more games that developers want to opt in. Tom Warren provided an interesting image of the document he was reading, and all Xbox specifically asked for was a sign-off that there's no engineering required by developers to do this program. They just say, you give us the yes or no, your permission, you decide if you want to be in Game Pass, and we'll handle the rest. Which makes me wonder how many people will sign up for this at the end of the day. But a lot to take away from here, dude. I was really excited about this. So what is your read of this situation?
Yeah, man, I like it. I like it. 360 is the GOAT generation for Xbox with some of the best games. And what I love about this, again, we're talking about Helix, we're talking about synergy with PC, which still shows me that that is a tent pole for them to make sure Xbox titles get over there on PC. So you're opening up a lot of things. The business side says, okay, developer, you've got a treasure trove of things, of games and IP that get what? Guess that you can now resell to the PC market who never had them, right? So you got games that you could repurpose and say, hey, without hopefully much technical lift, if it's just as bit of adding it to a suite of services, and then Xbox takes care of the rest, because that's what they've been preaching. Jason Rollins been preaching this at GDC. I was there, as far as they're making it easy for developers to utilize this feature substack that they are going to promote to Helix and then obviously PC. So I like that aspect. You give them monetization path, right?
Yep.
Now the key is going to be the rollouts, because some developers are going to be like, all right, kind of like what Maddie said, where it's like, I was planning to charge them for a remastered version of this, so I don't know if I'm going to give you, in fairness, that's probably just the big guys. Like, I in my mind, I'm thinking like the EAs, I'm thinking even Activision, because they have been notorious. I'm a Marvel Ultimate Alliance fan. I'm a Transformers, Fall of Cybertron, where they just remastered the game on the next, the subsequent generation, and did minimal lift, but like a resolution bump kind of thing. But a lot of those games have been delisted still. So there's opportunity here. I do like the idea that developers can monetize. But here's the key, and this is where they really don't get enough credit for the consumer friendliness. Like, if I have it, right, and I still have this disc, and I put this in, and then I get my digital rights to it, and that carries with me, and now you're giving me a path from disc to digital and ownership tied to my account. That is really cool. I do have questions.
What are your questions?
Because if Maddie's klepto brother comes in my house and steals my disc, I need to know. Do I have any protections, if this was done, unwillingly? These are silly things, but at the same time, these are questions. So I'm just curious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What happens?
It's a new era. We need to ask every question we can.
Exactly. Everybody got one of them klepto friends, klepto brother, and we got to see what do they have? Because again, they say the minute he puts it in his system, he has the digital right. So basically, if the disc is taken, I can't use the digital version. The old owner can't use the digital version anymore. He doesn't have the disc. He can't use digital. So I'm just curious about that. But I will say, remember, I'm a guy that likes 50 Cent Blood in the Sand. You know what I'm saying? Like it. What pains me right now on Xbox is, like, for example, I can only play that on Series X, which has the disc drive.
Sure.
On Series S, I have to have that disc, which they don't have a drive, so I can't play Blood in the Sand. And also what I like about this is that opens up the ROG Ally, because that is a PC device. Let me play my 360 games, bro.
Yeah,
or that with the digital license, bro. It can get fire. I love the program reopening. That was one of our, me and you would fight hard. Like, damn, y'all ending the back compat program? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the idea of the vault continuing to open. And last point, yes, there will still be some things with licenses. There'll still be some, issues here and there. But I just like the attempt. I like that we're still going. And yeah, this is a cool way. If they market it right and they're clear and concise, and we have our FAQ and our bullet points, this is what happens, this is in this scenario, I think they are opening themselves up to be the stewards of back compat in conjunction with opening up a new revenue stream for PC. And PC gamers are going to be excited to play a lot of these classic games that a lot of them would only lock to console. So yeah, this is a W, man. This is really cool. I like them continuing to stay in this space.
I agree. It's nice to see, in light of all the dooming happening, that we have a chance at, a nice back compat program here that considers your library across generations in a way that I think is going to matter more as we march to a digital future. Like, if this is what I said, if this is going to be the play, it's no longer, we're going to take down your PS3 storefront, we're going to take away discs and we'll let you know later. It's like, I need to know what's happening now. And so if I know that Xbox is investing in back compat to make sure that, say, I can play OG Xbox games on my Helix, that's a huge win. I mean, at least for someone like me, that matters like all the world more. It's just, it feels so nice to finally hear some good news on that front. The disc to digital program, I have mixed feelings on. I've had some people kind of debate, like, it still provides value because the physical games do have value, because they are the kind of, it's a secondary way to provide a digital license. And I agree with that. I think that point is very fair and true. I do worry about the future of physical, where if Xbox were to say continue printing with this method, it is not the same as, say, any game I'm looking at in my collection now, where it's like the content's on the disc, which is a lot of what ownership comes to. If it's a disc that unlocks a digital license, this is me being in my annoying bag, by the way.
I know this is real.
But this is the kind of important discrepancies we need to be aware of. Mm-hmm. If you don't care about this, I get it, because there is inherent value to the disc still, and I guess I'd rather it be around in some way than not at all. Mm-hmm. But if it's about actual content ownership and like, this is my game, right? Then when they go to this digital license future even more so, and they're not putting the content on the disc, that means that you are still saying, Xbox, when your servers are on, I will play the game that you are giving me the license to play. And if some legal snafu that I never even heard about happens, then you will remove that content from me.
Right.
And that'll be it for me and my fun times.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a thing, versus when you actually have the content on disc. Oh, you guys can squabble all you want. I still have it. That's the difference.
Question.
And that's why it's fine now, because, for example, Xbox One games, some of them, 360 Xbox original games, they have inherent value to their respective platforms. So again, I always say how one of the largest misguided facts about current games in their physical state is that things like Xbox One discs, PS4 discs were just like always licensed keys. It's like, no, that's not true. Like a lot of them were like the full games on the disc, like 75% plus of them, which is a ratio that I think more and more people need to really understand. But if this is going to be sort of what they do moving forward, that's a whole different type of value or lack thereof. Whereas those games in the past provided value on disc for the 360. So if that turns into a digital key, that's just my way of like, I can play that on my original platform. It has value there. The content's on the disc. Or if I want to play it moving forward, I can use this disc as a key to play it over there. Mm-hmm. That's fine with me because there's multiple ways of use, and that arguably adds more value to the disc, which I think is great because now you have a secondhand way, a cheaper way, maybe not cheaper at times at the retro market, but you get the point.
I get the point.
A way to obtain this game and then have use for it on a family of consoles. And that is the dream in a lot of ways. This is a lot of what Nintendo was. If these games are truly going to be relisted, I'm thinking Nintendo right now and sort of what they were doing with the virtual console, where people were like, oh man, like they just had, people built up insane libraries on their Wii and the 3DS because this was just a great feature to have. So I am totally embracing what they're doing in this case. This is a really good place to be trending to, given what's happening around us. Again, to what I said earlier in the show, for people who just skip ahead to the segment, does this mean that it's changing the generation? No. But does this mean it retains people like me as customers? 1,000% easily. That matters, especially everyone saw I was out. I was getting lambasted constantly for just playing on PC, enjoying myself, maybe going over to PlayStation when discs were supported. I will admit that the land I stand on has been just shrunken gradually to no fault of my own. But I think this has been great news. You know, I'm very happy to see this.
Question. You know, I like your points. What about to alleviate your concern? What, and again, this is a big if, you know, for Helix, right? Would, because you made a good point about we love the idea of the disc to digital and having that, you know, ownership, you know, and still respecting the disc. Would the ultimate W for you be, I say, you know what, guys, Asha comes out, we hear you. You know how famous we hear you. And it's just the image of an external Blu-ray drive player option for Helix. And it say, you know, we may not, the stock will be limited maybe initially, but we plan to get more out. For those who choose to still want to hold the value of the physical disc in the event, you know, our servers go down, you still have, we value you having this. Would that gesture really go over well with you and invested in and still giving you that option? Because I know your concern. Your concern is like, yo, I'm still trusting you in your ecosystem to maintain this game forever if your network goes down. But at least I got said prize. Does that go a long way?
I do you one better. I think one way they could do this would be a win for everyone is just to say, hey, whatever form of content in which you buy it for, let's say you buy it digitally or you buy it physically, the value is that that license is yours. And if our servers go down, you can still play these games. You know? Okay. I mean, that's how it technically is running now. Like you log in, they check you in.
Right.
But I do think there needs to be more freedom.
Okay.
Because I mean, that's the risk you play, right? There's people who will use that against you. And so there's certain fail safes that I imagine they'll have to put into play.
Yes.
But again, with I think the real fight is if we're going digital or I'm turning physical into digital, if we're doing all of that, then I would really like to know for both my digital brethren and the physical brethren that the content we're paying for is ours and that whatever the fuck freak accident happens or, hey, we're doing maintenance or whatever it may be, that we can still play our games. That whatever fuckery you do does not affect us. That's really what it has to come down to.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. You can abandon the platform, which was a realistic possibility, it felt like last year. You could jump ship, but this is mine. And I get to access it whenever I want.
Okay.
You know, maybe I have to download it. Sure.
Right.
But that's the most I have to do. Cool.
Okay.
And I think that would be the compromise for me in all of it is like truly owning the digital content in the way that GOG lets you.
Right.
Because then it's like, because then you're like balancing it. Like the disc you can either say the disc has more value, which
Right.
I'm totally fine with, or you can bring digital to the value of the disc is what I would argue for.
Right.
Which is just like, I know when I buy a physical copy and it's got the content on disc, that's mine.
Right.
But digital doesn't have that in a lot of places right now.
No,
so
that's fair.
bringing it to that level and making that the announcement and then saying for physical, we have this drive, I think as the follow-up would be ideal.
No, great point. And I want to shout out the Comment Boys who actually made a correction to something I said that is true in terms of PlayStation that we do have to give them credit for, which is Xbox does need to step up in terms of the being able to, if you have the digital, once you download it, it being accessible fully in an offline state, as opposed to requiring the sign in the authentication. Maybe if that's the one-time thing that you have to do it to just kind of get through that pass-through check, but it shouldn't be, it's a coaster when you're offline, you have no internet, right? You could say, minus that the game is not Overwatch or some online only game, right? If it's truly offline, then they should have that protection once it's on your hard drive to say, hey, your Xbox console is not completely useless when we have an F up on the back end, right?
Yeah.
And I think that could help them out.
I think it's about putting all the power in the developer's hands. Like if they decide to make an online only game, you know, that's their decision and they have to live with like what comes with the nature of online only. But if you're a developer who's shipping single player stuff, your content, it predicates on the idea of mostly, assumingly, being offline.
Yes.
And that developer should not be punished because your platform shows ineptitude in its server infrastructure or something like that.
Exactly.
Same with PlayStation. It's that simple. It's like some people, like we live very blessed lives. We get more hours than most to play games.
Absolutely.
There are some people who will sit down and they get 2 hours if they're lucky in a night, maybe once every couple of days. You cannot risk interrupting those people. Because if you're shooting for the billions, every single customer matters. That's a good mindset to have. That's why going for things like retro is great, because you're getting the Maddies. And the Maddies aren't everybody. That's why I don't try to fool anybody into like changing your habits, because I know y'all aren't like me. But, you know, like for those who are hardworking people, they need access to their content always, because they might get like one time a week to play a game. Or their job isn't based around games, where they might just walk away and then come back a little bit later. And like, you got to be able to give them that. The ability to do that. The hassle-free engagement with your platform would go a long way. And so things like this feel like they can be steps in that direction. And that's, again, what it all really comes down to. I'd love for discs to be around, but if we're going to start turning discs into like digital tokens, it's like, okay, then really make the digital token something worth having and owning, you know, because then that's something that people like me, and really for everybody who decides to go digital, it's now a guilt-free option, which is what it should be.
Yes. No, well said. And that's why, like I said, I love these strides. I love, you know, us to continue to put the pressure on them to show them, okay, this is great. This is how you continue it. This is how you do the feedback. And I am seeing, I'll just speak for myself as far as a ROG ally. One of the beautiful things that I'm seeing is like simple little things. Like, for example, we talk about I was playing the altars, I was playing all this stuff. Like, I just lambasted them for Gears Tactics, you know, not having an offline mode in terms of whatever. But in their defense, with the majority of the improvements I'm seeing is like, now when I play on my ROG ally, I jump on the plane, I come back, I'm in that offline state. Now what they're doing is, when I'm playing on, first of all, they have play history. So it's like, we noticed you played here, please see, then you played there on Series X. And also the minute that the game session's over, give us a time, 5 seconds or so, we're syncing the data that you just saved to the cloud, so your cloud stays with you. But what I like is that now I jump on the plane, I immediately don't have internet. I jump into an offline state seamlessly now, which is what I always complained about. Play my title. Soon as I reconnect and get online status, boom, it goes back up. So this is play anywhere. This is the digital aspect. Now let's full circle it with the offline modes and stuff like that for everything as much as we possibly can, and give that ownership to the gamer. And then this could be that happy medium, right? This is where you got to get. So yeah, there's still work to be done, but I love the strides being put in the effort, and hopefully we continue to put the pressure on them the correct way.
100%. We had a couple of write-ins that I wanted to get involved with here. One came from Sean Santaroot. He wrote, "Hey Dukes, I'm seeing a lot of excitement for the backward compatibility push with OG Xbox and potentially now 360 games coming to PC, but is this making the Xbox console now more irrelevant. And again, confirming the greater long-term aim of Xbox is to move away from console and just be PC-based. What are your thoughts? Now, we have Asha mentioning internally, of course, very recently that console is the focus, but how much do you think PC plays a factor if their highest revenue base, of course, is the console player? That's where the money is. So I don't think they're incentivized to stay away from them. I think they want to keep that core there as high-spending customers. But just to check back on this, Cog, what's the read with this program in mind and the PC push? Will Satya eventually get involved and say, yeah, but all those users. You've been doing great, Asha, with all those users.
I mean, the new is always sexy. You know, we can't deny the fact that the PC gaming community is something that they want to capitalize on. So you have to, definitely stick with them. But the fact that she continues to mention console means that they want to keep the stickiness of the highest spenders on the platform and to keep them engaged. So I think it's a dual prong approach. I'm going to call us the legacy version of Xbox. We're Xbox legacy.
I gotta make it sound so old, bro.
We're old. We're the dinosaurs.
Legacy version.
We're the legacy. Look, we love you. You guys love exclusives. You love the console. You love the ecosystem. And we're going to make sure you're happy. We're going to give you everything you want, stuff like that. And we're always going to retain Xbox legacy. There we have
Xbox. Okay, well, we calling these new guys coming in. I'm curious.
I got Xbox PC. I got to come up with a name for. I don't have a name for them just yet. But we just say temporarily the new. You guys, traditionally you stay on PC. But we got this wonderful ecosystem that our legacy guys built that we want you to be a part of. And how great would it be to merge these worlds so you can play all these games you missed out because you refuse to buy a console? We know you. You like to stay where you're at. You don't want to come down and play in the hood anymore. You don't want to go to the playground. You want to stay in your ivory tower, tweaking and twerking with the highest fidelity, right? We hear you. You stay there. We'll bring the games to you seamless. And again, just for a small nominal fee, right? They're games that you never access. And legacy, don't get upset. We ain't charging you a dime. You got the rights to that. Those are yours. If you want to go move into the ivory tower, you move with your library seamless because we take care of you. We here at X. I can see the picture. So I think they're splitting us up, but in a cool way where they're trying to respect everything that we've built, unlike the last. Because technically, let's be real. Corporate cock BS aside, this is an Xbox, but repackaged different. And
repackaged and maybe not as suicidal.
Not as suicidal, not as brand damaging, not as disrespectful. And also, see, the key to difference, though, with Asha's version is that we are giving you the functionality to actually make it work. Where the last regime was like, yeah, this is Xbox, but it really isn't because everything's not working. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the systems are not tied. We are now doing the legwork to tie and unify to truly get the vision where it was supposed to be and not disrespect you with this type of, that's why I'm calling you Xbox Legacy. You built us. You made us. You're the 25th anniversary. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. But meanwhile, XPC, you've always loved arcades. You've always wanted to join us. So here's some things that you can do to get part of the Xbox family, and we'll become one synergistic, happy family living under this roof. I know the corporate buzz. I know what they try to do. You know what I'm saying? And let's be real. The money was in PC all along. It's just that the last regime got the fangs out, and they just disrespected us, right? And went so aggressive when you say you don't need an Xbox. Come on. You say no console required? Bro, oh, damn. Like that? Or what's that mean when you got the dude walking ahead and he looking back at the joint that just passed him? And we sitting there holding the hand like, really? Really? Yeah. That's what they did to us. It was just the way they played.
It's an image that tells you all you need to know. Like you got to really focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
Let's have some fun here real quick. What are some games that you'd like to see enter the back compat program? And what games do you think, if we're thinking the starting lineup, like what we saw for OG Xbox, it was Crimson Skies, it was Blinks, right? Like we had all these games that got thrown in for the starting four. What's the starting for 360? What are the 4 games that if you're in Xbox, you're like, these have to hit PC first?
I mean, there's so many iconic. See, the thing is now it's kind of muddied because I'm not sure what's not on PC anymore. To be honest with you, you know, what I'm saying, like I can only think of tenant games that made me like buy a 360. Like, you know, obviously the Mass Effects, the Oblivions, and you know, a lot of this stuff has come in some form through remaster and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it is difficult to kind of narrow down. So my list is weird because it's kind of like obscure stuff. I'm going to be out here with like, where's my Transformers full set? You know, you know me. I'm leading the charge. Yeah, I'm coming for the Activision division. Publishers like, bro, you sitting on.
They got a lot of games hostage, bro. There's a whole generation of Transformers, Marvel, TMNT games. Like they've got it all. It's a vault. It's a vault that we need to unleash.
Fat Activision ran the game, and I'm thinking about the Activisions, the THQs, people that in their height had so many pop culture IPs living under their roof, and now PC they didn't get none of that. You know what I'm saying? So. Like you gotta figure that out. Or where's my Ultimate Alliance? Or where's my I want stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm selfish in a different way, which really kind of deals with the, like I said, the Activision side of the house as opposed to the 360 side of the house, Xbox Game Studio, because there's so much, bro. Like, I mean, was the original Splinter Cells and stuff on that? Like,
I'm so out on Splinter Cell, and not in a negative way. Just I've not played much Splinter Cell in the scheme of things, so I get it. I wouldn't know for sure.
No, I get it. I look at UB, you know, obviously, and then this is where it gets touchy because a lot of the big name publishers are gonna want to, hey, we were gonna sell that to you for 60 with a new coat of paint, and you know what I'm saying. So that part gonna get a little tricky. We got to be honest with certain people that they are not the big guys. Some of them are not gonna want to just sign off, but you can be creative with what I consider a rollout, which is like, if you have a new title, does it hurt Bethesda to say, here's Morrowind? You know what I'm saying? Does it hurt to, you know, just certain little things? They can get creative. There's going to be developers that's going to take full advantage of it. So the possibilities are endless. I don't have a hard and fast list as far as like to me, I would have to go to the PC community. We got to poll them. What are the stuff they coveted that when they were PC mastering, it's like, damn, wanted to play that. You know what I'm saying? Because see, from my perspective, I had everything. So I got to think about them who didn't have. That's the target audience first to get the most revenue for the developers so that they can port some of them joints over.
I think there's at least 3 that come to mind for me.
Talk to me.
Fable 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Gears of War in general, outside of Ultimate Edition, 2 and 3.
Facts. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then Lost Odyssey. Yeah. I think you lead with those 4. 2 Gears games. Because, you know, maybe if this has happened in October 2020, I'm sorry, no, this is happening in 2027. So at that point, Gears E-Day's done its thing. Yeah, bring back OG Gears. It's all on PC now.
Facts.
Fable, maybe they hold Fable. I don't know if they are worried about doing Fable 2 on PC, interfering with the new Fable happening in 27. But I definitely think Lost Odyssey needs to be part of that starting lineup. For sure. It has to be. Has to be, dude. Yeah, PC fans missed out on some of those core franchises. Like they got Fable 1 through Anniversary Edition. They got Gears of War through Ultimate Edition, but they never got games like Fable 2, Fable 3, Gears 2 and 3. Like they never got to experience those.
Yeah.
I'm looking over at my collection now. There's like Naruto games that Ubisoft published that I'd love to see. Naruto Rise of a Ninja, Broken Bond, Operation Darkness Atlas game, Ultimate Alliance 1.
Oh, it's on my list.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ultimate Alliance, when it got that re-release, that port from Activision back in like the 2010s, like I think that was on Steam as well. So I don't want to.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just know a console it was delisted unless you don't have the disc and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
If they get the license where they can relist some of these games again, dude, like.
Come on, bro.
I mean, Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
Yeah,
like
what?
Yeah, like they got to throw a Spider-Man in there. I think that would go hard. Like a Shattered Dimensions, a Web of Shadows, something like that. If they do like one Spider-Man game, Lost Odyssey, Fable 2, and a Gears game like Gears 2, bro.
I mean,
my God.
but nice rollout when each of the newer versions of Gears comes out, E-Day comes out, and you got a nice rollout for PC community as well to
Be
get
cool.
you up to speed. Like there's things you could do here.
A little synergy, yeah.
You know
A
what
little
I'm saying?
synergy. That leads to a couple more sales on Steam, maybe. I don't know. But I again am very, very keen to see how many developers opt into this program. I brought up like Ubisoft, and I'm like, are they? I mean, they're saying Xbox is saying, give us the green light, and we'll do it for you. But like, would Ubisoft be interested in Rise of a Ninja and Broken Bond? Is that their call, or who's it?
Who's the call?
The thing is, so many of the games that are really missing nowadays are those licensed games.
Yeah.
Naruto, Dragon Ball, Spider-Man, like all of them, dude. Like there's just a whole vault of them that I would love to see unleashed. And if Xbox can figure that out, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
lit.
I've never been an Xbox fanboy, truly, but they really want to win my love. They really want me to just unapologetically just gas them up.
Love bombing Maddie. Let's go.
Yeah. Save my beloved 360 games, please.
Oh yeah.
I love that I can even dream about this for a little bit.
I know. The fact that the option is here, the possibility is there, right? That's what we want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, 100%. I think that is super dope. I'm just excited. Again, they got to follow through. We got to see who's going to opt in, right? These are legit questions, but there is potential, and I love 100%. That type of stuff that they're going to do. And again, ease of development lift. That's huge. You know what I'm saying? That's the key here. And what
factor.
Yes. And what I like is you start to see stride. Did you just see that Baldur's Gate 3 just happened to be in play anywhere just recently?
I did see that. Yeah.
Again. And they asked him, like, why Larian now? And they were like, no, this is something our fans and Xbox has now made it so much easier for us. This is what I want to hear. I want to hear the developers say, yo, it's the point of entry.
Make it, why not, right?
Yeah, why aren't
Same thing
you
I
doing
said,
it?
when you make a series game, like you're going to make games for the Xbox Series console because there's millions and millions of units out there. Mm-hmm. But some people will say, well, why would I support Helix? But if it's like a straight up opt-in or they make it easy for you, then why wouldn't you? Exactly. Why wouldn't that game also be on the Microsoft Store? And that's the thing we were talking about months ago when they started talking about like during GDC, the developer focused groove that they got into. It's like, if you could make it like why wouldn't we just do this? Then that's huge over time.
I just got something to answer our other question, which was like the developers who are resistant, who are a little hard-headed, who are like, hey, we got to have our own version. We don't want to opt in. Okay, we forgot on this list. Guess what? All right, how about we sweeten the pot? How about we make this a Game Pass situation?
Oh, a little money.
Yeah. Here's your little bag. Let's roll this out and give the PC community that it's in game, and you know your engagement's going to go up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you take this little bit, bro. That's how you could incentivize the stubborn. You know what I'm saying? So let's go with that. I consider like the big publishers. I'm looking at, the EAs and the, you know what I'm saying? Like this certain, EA has their own store. They got don't get me started with them because I get mad with them that like for one of my biggest faux pas, like, bro, you know how much I love Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to see that. I don't want to be disrespectful. I need to see the numbers on the EA store access.
Yeah. Not being able to access Legendary Edition traditionally, like, and you have to go through, like, even if you buy it on Steam, you have to go through the launcher.
I don't want to go through then I don't have my save date. So basically I'm playing a separate game and I'm like, nah, fam, I got it here on Xbox. I want the data that I got there to come over. So it's just like, there's some people who are still stubborn with their storefront. And I'm like, all right, bro, how many people are really playing it over there? I'm curious. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'd love to see the numbers too. Yeah, they've just really hung on to Origin. They really have. Like, it has been years of them hanging on to that. Whereas like Bethesda Net, for example, like they gave up.
Yeah.
Ubisoft still has Uplay.
Yeah, they have Uplay. But at least Ubisoft with Uplay, my cloud save, it goes on. I tested. I could play where I'm at on it. Cool. That's where they beat EA. EA is acting like this is a whole separate platform. It's like, come on, bro, just give me the cloud save so I can continue my Mass Effect trilogy. I'm dying to play that. I mean, technically, yes, I could play it on my Ally now if I download the EA store. I don't want to. I don't like y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would literally be that one game only, or at least give us the some way to transfer, like do cross-play yourself, like how Larian tried to do it and Cyberpunk tried to do it with, remember they had that you log into an account and it didn't matter which platform you want, it'll have the data there. At least give me that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So yeah, we'll see. But that's just for the stubborn ones. That's all. But I think this could work if they my overall point was Game Pass being an incentivizer.
Yes. Yeah, for the stubborn.
Yes.
All right. Well, that does it, Cog. I mean, that is a very exciting note to end on here. Very keen to see in the coming months. You know, we're in August. Gamescom is coming up. We don't know if Xbox is going to have anything there to show with this program. And obviously, even if they don't, we're seemingly only a couple months away before the anniversary, where it seems like in October, they're going to do something to celebrate their 25th anniversary, likely involving back compat like they did 5 years ago. And that was a really good time where they dumped a bunch of games into back compat. Ton of fun there. So we'll see where it all ends up, but I'm very excited nonetheless. And with that, Cog, we round things out here.
Yeah.
What are we feeling for the hashtag for the week?
I'm feeling a little vibes. I'm feeling a little, I definitely want to play on the fact, like, it's not like I want to give them all the credit, like say all the way back, but something that plays into the fact, like we're trending right with all these, you know what I mean? I feel like with the back compat, the 360 stuff, I want to encapsulate. I'm trying to think of a word to encapsulate the vibe of it.
Yeah, they're trending up. They're trending up. Is there a way to say that quickly? I feel like
I know.
Like, I'd be like, on the rise or positives.
Yeah, we don't want to give them too much.
Yeah.
All the way, but it's like we like what you're doing. This like is
your stock is gaining values.
Right.
Like,
but you want to do like trending? What you want to do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Trending, maybe trending's too strong.
Trending's a little, I don't know. It's been 8, like when someone wrote in and they were like, yeah, it's been 8 months. I'm like, shit, it has been. Like Asha literally close to, which Asha joined in like February, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty crazy to think about. It's like I feel like I blinked after that moment happened, and like a lot has changed for the platform since then, and most of it has been positive. The only time it got really hairy again was the reset, and I mean, so far it feels like it's been handled as good as you could really ask for a pretty shitty situation.
Right.
So yeah, it's been decent times overall. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll keep it nice and timid. Decent times.
Decent. I like that. Yeah. Decent times. Yep.
Decent times DD. Why not?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want to tag us on Twitter with the hashtag Decent Times DD. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. You can tag us there. Otherwise, you can hit us up in the comment section down below. Y'all been really sweet to us lately. Maybe I jinxed it. I don't know. But feel free to use the hashtag Decent Times DD over there if you don't want to go on socials. We appreciate y'all listening to the absolute final moments of this episode. Cog, as we round this out, any final thoughts from you, good sir?
Another one, man. Another one with my boy in the realm of the Dukes, doing what we do. Appreciate the comments, appreciate the love. And it's always something to talk about. We cannot keep up, bro. Like it is, again, it's the fun part of doing an Xbox podcast. Man, we got stuff to talk about. But yeah, decent time so far. I'm excited. Got a lot of games to play, want to get back into, and getting ready for the Gamescom, man.
Yeah. Good time to be going. There's a lot happening right now. So looking forward to it all. And otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week for another episode of Defining Duke and Xbox Podcast, episode 293. So stay tuned until then. Otherwise, we'll catch all of you real soon. Be well.
Peace.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.